There's a new force of nature at hand, stirring all over the world. They are the young people whom, frankly, we have failed, who are angry, who are organized, who are capable of making a difference. They are a moral army. And the most important thing that we can do for them is to get the hell out of their way.
The youth of today, like Nelson Mandela, who is now hailed as an icon of peace, must be ready to be called terrorists. We must be ready to be called criminals. We must be ready to be jailed for crimes we did not commit. We must be ready to be character assassinated like Ida Mtwana, Robert Sobukwe, Unko Potitiro, Steve Biko, Winnie Mandela, and Julius Malema.
We demand that the people who have been arrested and abducted be released unconditionally as a sign of goodwill. We demand that there be heads rolling in the police department because there are people who gave those orders. We demand as young people that you respect our lives, that you stop killing us. One life was one too many. There are people who will never walk again, and that's why we walk on the streets. And we demand that you follow this constitution, because all sovereign power belongs to the people of Kenya and shall be exercised only in accordance to this constitution. And remember that while you can kill a revolutionary, you cannot kill the revolution.
We don't have a country here. We are useless. If it was for us, I would say, let's destroy this country. Watch ibomoke yote. But for our children and grandchildren. And that's why I support them. Let them teach us a lesson. We are jokers.
We've been telling young people, go to school, get educated, then you get a good job, you'll be empowered. But in most of our countries, the people who are leading the best lives have no education. The people who are driving the best cars, no education. We have political cadres now occupying significant positions in government because they are loyal. Some of them are fantastically incompetent, but they are wonderful people. Unfortunately, wonderfulness does not cure the underdevelopment challenge. We have equated having things with being, so that those who have things are considered more human beings.
Sisi vilevile sio wote ambao wanataka ugomvi kwa sababu ya ugomvi.
Niwaambia nyinyi ni wajinga mkimfuata Ruto. Mkadhani tunawadanganya.
Jeti ya Ruto. Hii maisha ya Ruto ni stress na ni stress.
Mungu wewe umetukosea.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're glad you're watching. Thank you so much for making time to join us. This is Sound Candid Talk, open forum political discussion show. Well, the word on the street, the word in the village, the word in the city, the word everywhere is Kenyans are angry against the William Ruto regime. And their anger is justified because of the shocking revelations that are coming from the Adani deal and other hidden deals that were subsidiary to this airport manenos, and Kenyans cannot stomach it anymore. And therefore, they are united in their anger against William Ruto. And it appears William Ruto will not survive this. Therefore, we are gathering here again to look keenly on the whole matter. The poll question tonight, we are asking, do you think it was a costly mistake to hand over the country to William Ruto? Your yes or no answer is invited on YouTube, Sound Candy Talk, and Sound Candy Talk Live. Thank you for being part and parcel of this great conversation. We'll be looking extensively on the same matter, even as we hear different opinions from different Kenyans around the world on the issue of the selling off of national public assets, all of it in the pretext that William Ruto wants only what is making profit, when actually he's selling these items to himself, pretending to be the foreign company that has proxies who are coming to pretend to be investors when he seems to be the one and only investor. Now, all these are matters that are under scrutiny, and then, of course, some of them are before the courts. And Kenyans are united in their anger about all these. That a country 60 years in after independence, we want to own nothing, have nothing, and let foreigners come and be in charge of our doors. This is unheard of. This is what Moi would have called playing with the sovereignty of our country. I don't know why William Ruto thinks otherwise. Well, I appreciate everybody as we start the conversation. Na kukaribisha makinika tafadhali, karibisha mtu 18 people, Sound Candy Talk Live, 22 people, Sound Candy Talk. One person on Facebook, TikTok tuko wangapi? Naomba tumakinike 22. Let's be on the forefront. Tafadhali kukaribisha mtu, share your live, share it widely so that you will hear what Kenyans are saying and then apply yourself to the same. And it's bad news. It's bad news that the anger of Kenyans is just at the top of everything, and of all the people you hear, you listen to, you communicate to. Every one of them is expressing their disappointment and their anger towards what William Ruto is doing and his administration. I don't know from where you are. I want us to also carry out whatever sample from all over the country and outside the country. Are you in agreement with what is happening with the country, or you are against it? Thank you as you join. I appreciate every one of you. Link ya kutumia kuingia studio nishaweka kwa comment section. Click on it. Allow StreamYard to configure for you the camera as well as the audio, and then find yourself in this space for us to get talking. Tunim Hamoud 77, thank you for being here. We appreciate you. Green, thank you for arriving. Say Ruto has a spirit of Judas. For 30 pieces of silver, this man will sell Kenya. Very sad. And it appears he's all in the business of selling this country. All these trips have all been nothing but bargains and bargains on how to sell off the assets of this country. And to me, that's very sad, very, very sad that somebody fights so hard and ends up grabbing power and only to get in and begin to offset our assets. I've never seen this level of, leadership. I don't understand William Ruto. I mean, why should you want to be a president so that you sell assets and sell property? I mean, if you wanted to be a salesperson, you should be a broker or an auctioneer, not a president. So you work, you do all the campaign 5 years down the road only to end up in the office, and instead of cultivating and building the country, you want to get rid of every asset the country owns. You give it to foreigners and you call it PPSG, what? This is madness. And well, Kenyans, if we don't arrest this madness, it will affect every Kenyan. So let's all rise up, arm ourselves, and stop the madness. This is not how a country is managed. That what you found in the office, you kill. No, that's a wrong economy. The economy of hunger. What are they? Hunters and gatherers. That's what William Ruto for you. Every hunter kills what he finds. And you cannot grow economy by killing everything you find alive. You found economy alive, you kill it. You found healthcare working, you kill it. You found education working, you kill it. This is not how a country is managed. So as we ventilate on this, I want you to be up and going. Invite somebody, share your live, like the video, piga kura yako, makinika ili makinike pamoja. Asante. Boss Lady, karibu kwa show. Esther Stoll, welcome to the show. Malkio Ogola, karibu kwa show. Freedom, I see you. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much. Felicitas Makungu, karibu kwa show. Asante sana. Ruto started stealing from primary school things like pencils. So it is not surprising that he will steal, he will steal until he dies. Oh my God. Oh Jesus. Now, naomba karibisha mtu tafadhali. Usitazame kipindi peke yako. Nataka umakinike. Karibisha mtu. Like video TikTok, hizo likes zipande tafadhali. Join tu. Una share live, una like video, unakaribisha mtu. Green na kuona. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Naftal na Imani, karibu kwa show. Fabiana Adriano, thank you so much. Leo niko ndani mapema, karibu sana. Dahir Abdi, karibu kwa show, asante sana. Kuna nani huyu? Gypsy Saikona, karibu kwa show, asante sana. Naomba tukaribishane, tumakinike, tufuate kipindi na participate fully. Tafadhali hakikisha kwamba uko mstari wa mbele kumzomea William Ruto kwa tabia mbaya. Hii ni tabia mbaya. Hii ni kitu ambacho akikubaliki katika sheria zozote za dunia nzima. Wewe ukiingia kwa ofisi upate rasilimali ni hii, unapaswa kuongeza kwa hiyo rasilimali, sio kuuza ile rasilimali ulipata kwa ofisi. So jukumu lako wewe kwa ofisi ilikuwa kukuja kuuza. Ulipata healthcare inafanya kazi ukaiua, ukapata education inafanya kazi umeiua. Kila kitu unachokipata kuna kiua, alafu bado unataka kushabikiwa? Hapana. So Wakenya wenye nia njema, tumakinike. Hii inaitwa Sound Candy Talk. Tunakujia moja kwa moja kutoka Nairobi, Kenya, na tuko hapa kuhakikisha kwamba ukweli wa mambo unajulikana kwa mambo yote yakiwekwa bayana. I just want you to listen to this lady and just a sample of the kind of anger that is in the heart and the minds of Kenyans on the same issue of William Ruto and his madness. I call it madness. Yes, it's madness. Nobody would want to. You want to sell Kenyan, sell Kenya Power, sell pipeline, sell airport, all airports, sell all the ports. I mean, kwani Kenya Kwanza ilikuwa Kenya ya kufanya nini? Ilikuwa serikali ya kuuza. Walikuwa auctioneers. Okay, and they are auctioning us for what? What are we owing Kenya Kwanza that they are auctioning our properties? You should tell us. Is there anything we are owing Kenya Kwanza? Is Kenyans owing Kenya Kwanza administration? Because Kenya Kwanza is behaving like an auctioneer. Ni kama Shylock, okay? So sisi nataka watuambie ni kipi hiki ambacho tulichukua kutoka kwa Kenya Kwanza tukatumia airport kama collateral, ama tukatumia ports kama collateral, ama tukatumia parastatus kama. They should explain to us what is it that Kenyans are owing Kenya Kwanza. Hapo ndio tuanze, kwa sababu hakuna mtu tuanze kuuza vitu na vitu ambavyo hakujenga. hakuhusika, ajui vile zilivyojengwa, ajui ni kipi kilifanyika ndio hiyo airport ikajengwa. Like Jomo Kenyatta Airport, it was East Africa Airport. It was built by Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. 3 countries built it. Na wewe unataka kuiuza tu? Kwa nini? Kwa sababu unapenda hela. Oh my God. Well, tumia your link, ingia studio. I want you to listen to this lady. It's very, very, very hurting and heartbreaking. Let's just listen to her as we start out, and wale mnaingia studio, muingie studio tuongee kwa kina. Masaa ndio hayo. Karibu kila moja.
I wasn't going to make this video, but I hate Ruto. I hate him. My heart is quite soft and gentle, but for the first time in my life, I loathe, I detest this man. How has this man spanned the narrative that we are the anarchists, that we are a threat to democracy, and we're replacing democracy with tyranny and dictatorship, as he stands in church on a pulpit, and that church has given him a platform to speak, and there are people clapping for him. At the genesis of these protests, businesses were supporting us until the goons, hired goons by the people in his government, infiltrated this movement. Ruto, we are not faceless, we are not anonymous. We are Kenyan people fighting for this country, to make this country better, because it is our right. We have been peaceful throughout. In the streets, the people who are protesting are kids. They're teenagers. They're in their early 20s. And those who are not Gen Zs, those who are not millennials, are Kenyans who care about this country. They've tasted freedom. They know what it is to be free. And you want to take it away, and you think we will allow you to take it away? You and your government are single-handedly destroying this country. You just cannot believe that there's such a political consciousness and awareness of Kenyans, because you're used to the corruption that was in the previous regimes. You can't believe how educated and how we keep calling you out. You can't believe that we're not buying into your deception. You're an idiot. No one is paying this movement. No one has paid me. And you do this so that you can maintain your alliances, so that you can keep eating and stealing and killing. Ruto, we want you to resign. We want you out. This is not a game for us. We do not want you as a president. You have failed. We have no confidence in you at all. You are a liar. You deceive the people who do not know any better, and you hide behind churches, and you pretend that you are a saint of God. You're a naked wolf. Every step this movement has taken, the Kenyan people have taken, has been through peaceful means, has been through the Constitution, one of the best constitutions in the world. And every opportunity that Kenyan people have given you, have extended an olive branch, you have spat on it. You have squandered those opportunities, and you have acted in your pride. You disregard human life. You do not care at all. You only care about yourself and whoever's behind the curtains. I really do believe this thing is honestly bigger than Ruto, but you are a vessel. You're a conduit of these plans that you want to enact on. I'm so mad. I'm so upset. The way he spoke in that church was a threat, and it was a clear one. I cannot even that church giving him a platform to speak, and these people are clapping. What idiots. My fellow Kenyans, you beautiful people, please stay safe. And may God keep us, for real. But let's continue to fight. And let's fight the right way. Let's not lose focus. It makes me really sad. Beyond sad, angry. I'm even teary-eyed. It's crazy. Because I love this country.
Ameuza airport. Ameuza nani? Ameuza Muhindi. Yaani Muhindi gani? Sijui kwa Muhindi. Lakini huyu Ruto lazima aende nyumbani. Aende kalale. Mmoja hajauza airport. Mwingine hajauza airport. Nani? Huyu hajauza airport. Kwani yeye anakwenda kuuza airport hapa? Yeye nani? Hatutaki. So sasa tunaelekea airport. Tunaelekea airport pale. Sawa. Sasa tunaelekea airport. Arudie airport hapa.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're glad you're watching. Thank you so much for keeping at Sound Candid Talk. That is partly what Kenyans feel about the situation in the country and the attitude of the Kenya Kwanza administration, especially in their quest to offset the assets that we have lived with, that our forefathers sweated, paid levies, denied themselves to acquire, that we may be a sovereign state that, is able to manage itself, able to run itself. Now, the Kenya Kwanza administration with William Ruto wants to give them away for nothing for the Kenyan people. Well, we have every right to stand up and say no to the same. So let your voice be heard. Let your decision be known. No more sitting on the fence. This country must be liberated once and for all. So karibu sana, naomba umakinike, usitazame kipindi peke yako. Karibisha mtu, naona tunaendelea kujaja. 28 people live, Sound Candy Talk live 43, Sound Candy Talk. Naomba tafadhali tumakinike kukaribishana. Facebook tumefika wangapi? Watatu. Tunaendelea vizuri. Naona Adriano headmaster wenu amekuja, kwa hivyo mjitahidi kushare your link ili tukamakinike pamoja. Stop Adani. How are you today?
I'm good, Pastor Bernard. How are you?
I'm well. Karibu.
Asante.
Guys, how are you stopping Adani?
Hi, bana. This guy, as you anataka, this guy bana. Yani, atuta have a peace of mind, yani, for the next, yani, is one thing after the other one. One thing after, it's a roller coaster. Will not have a peace of mind, but with this guy, there's no breathing space. He's removing us from one scandal to another one, from one drama to the other one. Yani, hapana. Hata kama ni harakati za kugrab, this is becoming too much now. You know, the other places where they have similar deals, they are being built for brand new airport from scratch. Brand new. Alafu sisi tuko hapa. Kama ya kina Rwanda venye Qatar wanajengea airport, Ethiopia pia wanajengea airport. Sisi we are yetu ni refurbishment. The airport is being refurbished.
Tunafanyia ukarabati.
Tunafanyia refurbishment na 2 billion. Huyu jamaa ametuamulia, my friend. Kwanza sahii ako wapi by the way? Is he in the country? Unajua nowadays hata sijui whereabouts that. Is he back in the country ama alitoka ile festival alikuwa ameenda Germany? Ameanza tena kutangatanga abroad. Ako wapi sahii? Is he around?
Germany. If he was here, mungemuona nini? Chunguza kesho anaenda kanisa.
Ajarudi?
I don't think so.
Ama hii mambo ya Adani ndio imemweka moto mpaka ametoroka kwanza. The seat has become too hot, ametoroka kwanza. But seriously, there's no way something like this can happen, you know. These are not, unajua Zakayo is still living in those era of Moi whereby Moi could do anything. There was no checks and balances. That's the kind of a mind space which he is in. And that's why he's thinking that it's okay to do something like this, which is so absurd. This guy will even sell his own mother very soon, bana akiendelea hivi, kwa sababu this it makes no sense, you know. At least unajua hata kama ni wizi, you have to steal in a way which is a bit sophisticated. Aibe kama mtu mwenye ako na PhD, unajua something which at least can be acceptable, unajua sio unaona wengine wanafanyiwa airport with the same amount of money, brand new airport from scratch, from kununua the land which the airport will be situated to coming up with the land, na mpaka wanaweka hata inaweza weka 5-star hotel hapo hivyo kando for that amount of money. Then unakuja hapo unaanza kutuambia stories za ati JKIA inakuja kufanya refurbishment. Sasa refurbishment si hata taxes zetu zinaweza fanya refurbishment. Do we need an investor surely for refurbishment of JKIA? Me, I don't know. Mambo za Zakayo. Mambo za Zakayo ni kama tu vyenye unaisikia hiyo jina Zakayo, it is really just a disaster. It's really just a disaster. Anyway, we are watching the space tuone how the issue will go, because you can see that kila mtu, even the political class and the rest, other than his immediate allies, hakuna mtu ana agree na hii kitu, because there's nothing to agree. It's obvious. It's very obvious that this is a scam, and a very big one at that. And these guys that they are not even going to be paying taxes. Watapewa tax exempt status. What is that? And we know the relationship between Zakayo and these Indians, kwa sababu even his hotel, which is called Weston, it's under Indians' names. So we know his relationship with Indians, that he Indians, they are his partners in crime. So it's just bad. It's just bad, and it's not good for this country. And we cannot allow this, that because somebody usurped his way into the high office, into the highest office in the land, now he has taken too many liberties to the extent that he wants to give out our airport of all things. Kwanza, in fact, that is the key airport. Afadhali angepeleka kwa Moi huko, Moi International, hiyo iko Eldoret. Angewapeleka huko waende wafanye hiyo refurbishment huko. Now how can our main key airport, our main key international airport, which we have in Nairobi, in the capital city, it's being taken over by foreigners? Yet we are in need of new airports. Why couldn't they have gone to build another airport instead of coming up with this garbage of coming to refurbish for us? Refurbishment does not reach 2 billion. Even if they want to steal, they can still, wangechukua Konza ama wachukue shamba palingine, wajenge something hata kama ni kitu rough. But not interfering with the JKIA. It's even a security risk. And especially with the integrity of this Adani group. It has had issues all over the world, Bangladesh, Australia. They have integrity issues. So are those the kind of people who, and I understand also they are going now into electricity. So unashindwa sasa, they have now moved from airport, now they are getting into electricity. This is not a kiosk. The country is not a kiosk. Whereby unatengeneza hapa, uko na butchery, alafu unafanya photocopy hapa kando unafanya hardware. We cannot have that kind of a scenario. You cannot run the country like a busa den. that unachukua airport unapeana kwa some questionable waindi. Then the same people now you want to ingiza them kwa mambo ya electricity generation. What is that? How, this is why I have to tell you that you have to get professional people to run the country. The country cannot be run by quacks, because this is the kind of thing which can expect from somebody who has never seen a classroom, from an illiterate person, as much as, and which makes you even question the standards of education in Kenya. Kama this is the kind of a brain which is a PhD material in Kenya. You have to ask yourself, because hata kama ni wizi, you have to steal in a decent manner, not stealing in a manner which cannot even make sense to somebody who's in Form 4. I'm very disappointed. Back to you in the studio.
All right, thank you very much for that good start. And kama mtu ni mwizi tu, hata hiyo PhD inaweza kuwa ni ya wizi, so we can't equate it to capability or attainment. And it is sad that we succumb to that kind of system where the people we entrust with the leadership are left to, grab the position without them being, thoroughly vetted and thoroughly convincing the majority of Kenyans that they are capable of starting the country forward. Now, to the issue of selling off our assets and all that, I don't know, because Ruto is the chairman of it's called Security Council. Okay, by the time these deals are being cut, is our National Security Council aware that they will now be bowing to our Muhindi when they land in and they land out of the country? Are they in approval? The key sectors of our armed forces, the Navy, the Air Force, and Njikav, are they all in this thing? Or this thing is just being done politically without any consideration of the security loopholes that they are posing, or security threat that they are posing to the rest of the country? Is William Ruto aware that the country can be taken over by strangers and he'll be kicked out? Or he's just seeing money, and nothing else but money? But all in all, I'm happy in the way Kenyans are sharp and open-minded on the matter and freely speaking out on the same, from the least to the greatest of them all. And therefore, everyone that has an ear, he should hear. And if there is any sense left in William Ruto, he should abandon this approach towards what he intends to do and just face his job. If he wants to be president of this country, let him do what presidents do. Presidents are not dealers, they are not sellers, they are not auctioneers. They are supposed to lead the country to prosperity. You can't come in office and you want now to offset everything without producing anything. Is there any road William Ruto has in any? Somebody did send me a video of this comedian. I'll play it later on. Comedian saying he was passing near, is it Bomet or Kapsabet? And it's a very good gate for a high school that has not been launched. So it was calling Ruto, pia ukitoka German, nimekushikia hapa, kuna kitu hapa kumbe ilikuwa haijakuwa launched, tunataka ukuje kulaunch. So nimekushikia, kuna mtu ata launch mpaka ukuje na kitu mzuri sana ambayo inafaa kulonjiwa na wewe. So it appears that Ruto is not building anything. Ruto cannot build anything. Everything he launches is what he found, and he will end up killing everything. So this Manenos, even on security grounds, the deal is cancelled. On all other measures of procurement and wherever, protection of public assets, there is no way this deal can go through. Whoever wants to refurbish Jomo Kenyatta, he should refurbish it for Kenyans, by Kenyans, and it remains 100% Kenya owned, Kenya controlled. If it's a private airport, William Ruto wants to enter into partnership with Adani and build, he's welcome. We'll sell him land, we will give him moral support, and then we know that there is a Adani private airport. And then there is Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. Those who want to land Jomo Kenyatta will land Jomo Kenyatta. Those who want to do private business in a private manner using private airport, Adani Ruto Company. Then there we can talk. But this one of taking a national resources, a national heritage, you want to hand it over to a stranger, we don't know where he came from. Hakuna kitu kama hiyo. So Wakenya, kaa tiari na usilegee kwa mambo haya. Tunajua we are dealing with people who left their brain somewhere else. But we must stand up and let our voice be heard and refuse to be carried like fools, because sisi sio wajinga. Tunaweza kuwa tutasoma sana, tuna hiyo PhD, lakini sio wajinga vile mpaka tubebwe tu hivi ati mtu amekuja ati mimi nikupatie kandarasi kipi na kuona niupatie kandarasi ya kurenovate nyumba yangu halafu unasema unifanyie renovation alafu ukae kwa hiyo nyumba 30 years. Si unataka kunizika Lang'ata? That's what you want. I mean, what renovation takes place 30 years? Wakenya msilale, bado mapambano. Wanakip, karibu, asante sana kwa kuwahi mapema.
Umesema tu unaniona. Kwani unaniona aje?
Mimi ndio ile roho.
Nilikuwa naona Julia jana. Niliona Julia jana alikuwa anafikiria ni ninja kama mimi. Nikaona shit. Naambia bana, nakuona bana. So I'm glad you're continuing the discussion ya jana. Unajua, it's okay. Yeah. We don't mind selling JKI or selling all these crucial things. First of all, I was talking to my cousin about that today. I was like, okay, things that concern national security like the railway, the roads. Siangeuza barabara basi. Siauza barabara. Sell them. The grid itself, unajua hizi vitu ya stima. KPLC can be sold, lakini wacha grid. KICC can be sold. There are certain things you can sell, yeah? Lakini wacha vitu kama port, things like the airports, international airports, by the way, these are not national airports. Anaweza enda kuuza hiyo ya nini? Ya Wilson. Uza hiyo, enda uza Wilson kama unataka kuuza kitu. And then the second thing is, we have capabilities as Kenyans, Ruto, si utafute Mkenya kuuzia hizi vitu kama uko na hiyo njaa sana. Sell it to Kenyans so that Kenyans can then improve the economy of Kenyans and not Indians. I don't mean to sound racist, but I'm a nationalist. I'm a nationalist. Wacha hizi vitu zikae Kenya na ikae na watu wa Kenya. I don't care what other countries have done. If South Africa sold to the Adani group, ole wao. If some American, nilikutumia video American parking issue. Kama waliuzia Saudi Arabian people, that is them. Sisi, nataka vitu za Kenya kwa Kenya. So umesikia vile Trump anasema make America great again. Sisi tunasema make Kenya great again. Yeah, let's do things for Kenyans. Yeah, we cannot, we cannot keep selling our assets to make this dynasty of Ruto, because everything, ukinotice kitu moja Bernard, anything that Ruto says and shams, he does. Alisema hakutaka watu wa naitwa jeo dynasty. What is he forming right now? He is forming a dynasty of his own. Now we are hearing rumors since the day he stole the seat in December of that year. Watch August. December of that year, we hear he wanted to add his term limit. And anything that you hear as a rumor in Kenya is actually the truth. Nimeacha believe in that rumors and conspiracies in Kenya are not true. They are true. Another thing, accidentally, people in the group yesterday, when we were talking, we started noticing something very weird with because I mentioned it. I was like, why are these senators begging? And why is it every time there's a big issue, we have the senators that are actually bringing it up and not National Assembly? Why are they begging? Kumbe last year, hiyo washenzi, excuse my language, but bado ni washenzi, sorry, not excuse me. Hiyo washenzi waliweka hiyo bill ya kufanya that a cabinet secretary is the only person who can decide to sell us assets. Meaning that it's yes, there's a bill for that. That is why they're begging. There's nothing they can do, Bernard. They put it into law. Now you get it, Bernard. Law.
It was passed in the National Assembly.
Yes, and the National Assembly is not talking.
The Senate was recalling it because Ruto passed it through the National Assembly without involving the Senate.
But what is the Senate's job?
Blocked the Senate. So the Senate was demanding that such laws should not be ascended to without the input of the Senate or the checking of the Senate. And so the Senate found it questionable, but this Ichungwa thing just passed like fire.
Yeah, but let me ask you a question.
There's also another law. The one is pretending not to sign. The one that was now making it legal again. The Ndegwa Commission, Jakindube keeps talking about the Ndegwa Commission of 1975, where it removed the law that had forbidden any government official should not do business with government. They lifted that to open magendo and corruption to come in. So there is now a revised version of it that everybody's forging for. No government official should do business with government. But these ones are saying the senators, members of parliament, and these other people are free, like they have rights to do business with government.
That is true, and they have the right, because being a politician in Kenya is about doing business. They have the right to do that, because why I'm saying this is because the Senate, kazi yao ni kazi ya county. They have nothing to do with these airports. I'm sorry, Bernard. I know you're defending them. We should be having these debates in the national. The MPs are the ones who should be fighting this thing. They have kept mum. So Senate inakuja kufanya kazi yao kwa nini? It is a shame. And I'm not shunning the Senate, by the way. I am not hitting them. I'm just saying, why does it take the Senate to do something for the National Assembly? Why aren't these committees coming in? Because the National Assembly are embarrassed. They're the ones who passed this garbage. Now, the other thing I wanted to say is, hizi vitu za madila, hizi vitu ya kupatiwa mapesa na kila kitu, ukiingia kwa parking lot ya National Assembly, which is both houses, you'll find that the MPs have bigger cars. They probably have bigger properties than the Senate. The only people that the Senate can actually deal with is during impeachment of governors, where mahali watapatiwa hongo kidogo. Let's just be frank here. Let's not mince words. Watapatia governors pesa kidogo. Governors watapatia pesa yao ya hongo ndio wasitolewe. Now you're beginning to see why we don't have very many governors being impeached. It is absolutely that. Yeah. So hawa wakikuja you see they have no bone in the fight. They are fighting something that they cannot do anything about. Actually, they should be protecting. I want to hear them shouting more about corrupt governors, inappropriation of county funds. I'll have to watch a National Assembly wakuje to explain to us how Adani Group is buying assets in Kenya. I hear there's also which other asset these guys have taken. There's an asset that they've taken by the Adani Group. It's not the first one they've taken from Kenya. Adani Group is a beast in its own, and they are bankrupt. They are losing money. They've destroyed very many airports in India. South Africa is suffering right now because of them. So we as Kenyans, what I would encourage, what I know I sounded a bit harsh, but what I'd encourage is let us just keep making noise. We cannot allow this man to come and do things. He's the so-called president. Sasa anakuja kuongea mambo ya Nairobi River for what? I did not see the purposes of the whole so-called president playing flower girl to the governor of Nairobi. Na ni kazi ya governor. Yeah. Maybe anaweza inviteo sele imefanywa kazi na inviteo na Sakaja kwanza muombe tafadhali mtukufu rais kuja utuone tukifungua hii project, and then he says I'm too busy, I have national issues to deal with. Lakini mtu anakimbia mpaka Germany anakuja kutufanya tukuje tupanguze matako ya wazungu. Sasa hiyo, that is the kind of thing that Ruto is coming to Germany to do. We have very many engineers in Kenya. I was speaking to a boy who was trying to leave Kenya. He's a software engineer, and he's coming to Switzerland to do. He is telling me he's looking for a visa. Atafute kazi ya nursing home. Imagine, a whole software engineer, and he's asking me how I can help. And this is a Gen Z. But I just had to advise him. Nikamwambia hapana, afadhali. The grass is not always greener the way you think. Yeah. If I had when I was younger, if I had a senior relative like Mama Selina, naweza kuja kusaidiwa. You have somebody senior there to help you. Maisha hapa ni ngumu sana. I'm telling you, my friends, hapa there's a lot of racism. Kwanza imekuwa worse after COVID. If I have someone like Mama Selina, anaweza ni protect. Unaona? So I was telling the boy, you can't just come here in these countries by yourself and you think you're going to succeed. You won't. You'll die of depression. You'll die of stress. In America, people work almost 3 jobs. If they're coming kufanya kazi ya mkono, if they're not coming with aspirations ya kufanya kazi kama ya nini, professionals, So Adani Group. So I encourage Kenyans, let's make noise. Let's continue making noise. Hata kama ni the little noise. The more, the surprising thing is when these civil servants refuse to come to the streets with us. Sasa wanaanza kuona kwamba imeanza kuwagonga. Yeah, Ruto ameanza kuwagonga. Ruto ameingia mfuko yao. Ndio unaona sasa wanaanza kutoka huko nje. A few years ago, watu wa Moi University walikuwa wanaongea kitu ya ile mambo ya mtu yetu. Wakaweka mwizi yao. Now Moi universities, all the funds have been depleted na mtu yao. Now they want the rest of the university caucus to go and strike with them. What are you talking about? Wenda ngangana na hiyo mtu yenu. Mshahara yenu inakulwa kila siku, every year. Mshahara inakulwa, all the funds that are supposed to be sent from the national government inakulwa, ile pesa ya school fees inakulwa. The universities are not expanding, and we talked about it, the education system the other day, Bennett, whereby the population is growing bigger and bigger, yet we have less and less schools. What are universities? That I don't care about universities. I care more about colleges, like technical colleges. Yeah, we need more of those. We need more high schools. We need more primary schools. We need more of these institutes where we can grow our children next to my neighborhood. If I live in Buruburu and we have a very large population, sitaki mtoto yangu inabidi kukue at most 10 minutes or 15 minutes walk from ile shule yake iko hapo. And all schools should have perfect TSC teachers should be more, and they should all be equal. We have to have correct. Then we start talking about elective seats. Yeah, it doesn't matter. The problem is mtu akisema kwamba sisi tuko na county mingi, that is fine. We have more counties because us as a society, we are not the same as Americans. We are not the same as all those people. I don't even care if we have even more elective seats. The problem is the people we elect as Kenyans are not there to serve us. They are there for their own interests. Kwanza nilikuwa nataka hata tuongeze vitu kama unajua in America and in some countries here in Europe kuna kwanga kitu inaitwa district attorney, where you elect a district attorney. Then we should have county attorney, na hiyo kazi yake ni cases za county. Haya, tunafaa kuwa na sasa ward, tunakwanga na county sheriffs. So tunataka hapa Kenya tunataka ward sheriffs, where we're electing law enforcement police of our own. Juu tukisema national police wanakuja kutugonga siku za maandamano, tunasema tulikuwa tumeelect sheriff mzuri. Yeah? And the sheriff can protect us from the county level or the ward level, where we're electing people that are helping us. The problem is not the constitutions, because yesterday we had this big debate about the constitution. The problem is not about changing anything about the constitution. There's no problem with adding any more seats. It's fine. That's okay. The unfortunate thing is we're electing pigs. The voice of the many is not being heard by the few corrupt idiots that we have there. And this is all dogs that have been protecting and breeding idiots like Ruto since since independence. Mwizi mmoja anatoka anaeka mwizi mwenzake after that. Ruto alikuwa ni mtu wa biot kabisa. Because I don't want to say Moi. Hiyo ni mjinga ya biot.
Naomba ulinde saa.
Continue. Naona masini wamekuja zaidi. Acha ni correct.
Na utafute Stone PK. Ili kipindi kitaendelea. Now I agree with you, but in Kenya our main problem is not lack of constitution. It is putting stumbling block to the free function of the constitution. You're talking about the Senate and the National Assembly. Constitutionally, the Senate is supposed to be the upper house. The upper house meaning it's supposed to keep in check the National Assembly.
No, Bernard, you're thinking about American. No, it's not American.
No, it is that is how it's supposed to be. It is Duale and Murkomen that championed the curtailing of the assembly, whatever the Senate, in the first year of the Uhuru-Ruto were the first people for the implementation of this new constitution. And that is the first time when the governors were elected, senators were elected, women rep and all that. And when now it came to actualization, there are things that they wanted to pass that needed to be in both houses or both houses to come together and ventilate on it, which they were afraid that they will be exposed. So what happened? Since it was easy to control the National Assembly using the big mouth of Duale and group, what happened? They curtailed the Senate. The Senate is supposed to check everything, in not just the counties, and of course it exists majorly because of the county, but not absolutely because of the county. Because according to the constitution, only the Senate can impeach the president. Okay, that is try the president when he's impeached by the National Assembly. The National Assembly only recommends. Then the Senate is the one supposed to take him to task, to defend himself, and then debate and then vote. So naturally, the Senate is supposed to be higher than the National Assembly. And then, of course, they are all representatives. They are elected to represent the people. So anything that touches on the people, both the Senate and the National Assembly plus the County Assembly are supposed to speak for the people, in defense of the people, including this national asset selling. So we shouldn't say that the Senate should not or the National Assembly should not. Every Kenyan should be up in arms when their national resources are being taken by strangers without their consent. And the really issue is without our consent. Have we ever complained about National Jomo Kenyatta International Airport? The only thing that has been a problem at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport is KQ. Kenya Airways is the one that makes losses. We have never
by the
had
way,
a problem with Jomo Kenyatta International Airport,
they made a
except
profit last year.
the first leakages that were brought by Murkomen and team. But Jomo Kenyatta and whatever airport authority, Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, as an airport, as an institution, have we ever bailed it out?
They made a profit. They made a profit.
They make profit always. It is KQ that makes losses.
But by
So
the
how they
Bernard, sorry, Bernard. Did you know that
Yes.
they're buying the whole of KAA? That means all airports, my friend.
Yes, Kenya or airport authority. That's what's being bought. That include all the assets that belong to all the airports in the country. Adani should be arrested,
That means
thrown into Kabuti.
ila Mombasa inaenda, ila Kisumu inaenda, ila Eldoret inaenda, yote. My friend, bunakimbia tu ya Nairobi hapa Jomo Kenyatta. Do you know how vital one for Eldoret is? Ile maua yote tunachukuanga huko nje. My friend.
That deal must be thwarted. Ruto and team must go. Let's bring in Mama as we continue to weigh on the matters at hand. Karibu mami, habari ya leo?
Kama sana Bernard, nimeingia tu mkikuwa katikati na keep long time.
Long time mama, long
na
time.
Usisahau we ni warrior. Mi nasikia saa ingine unasema mambo ingine nikasema I should remind you you are a real warrior. So don't jump to things that it doesn't belong to you. Thank you.
So I mean Moran.
Yes, you nothing will take away from your blood, eh? It is raining in your vein.
I hear you.
Thank you. Yeah. So every time you talk with people, don't mention that name again. You are that name. So
yes.
Morale cannot be a coward, and morale cannot do wherever it is going on. Okay, thank you. Penat, nilisikia jana Senate ikiongea na nimesikia Kipa akiongea mambo ya Senate. Nasikia mambo ya Airways, JKIA. Naona nasikia munatacha ya Kisumu Eldoret. But by the way, Chirchir, the first day he was grilled, niliona he was thinking it was a joke. But after Cherargei, Sufuna, the three young men that they were so tough there, Onyonga, actually there are almost 4 senators, Bernard. And then Kakubali, and I like the way Sufuna say, we want to swear him in to appreciate for what he will say today, because that is a covenant. Abati ya ile ya Ruto ya kupatiwa kuwa CS, they wanted a new one, and I think he knew it was serious. So wakati asubuhi walianza kutevel some information, the good news, na nilisikia jana kina Kibu wakiongea jioni ya kwamba Chirchir alisema vile tulikataa finance bill, niliona kama ako hiyo njia ya kusema Wakenya wakikataa, alafu nikasikia baadaye wengine wanasema Wakenya wakikataa Adani atatupeleka kotini tumulipe, na nikasikia watu wakisema na kama inalipwa italipwa Sakayo, Makurmen and others. So KKA Adani kukuja kupatiwa 30 years. Na sasa nasikia Kipa anasema hata wafanyikazi hata kila kitu ilienda. So the best, and nikasikia kijana moja, I was so happy about that boy. I don't know where you will get that clip. JNC alisema we don't need even the airport. Hata hatuna haja. Kwa hivyo Adani achukue hiyo airport akunje aende nayo India. Atuachie Nairobi tulete Wilson Airport. Sababu kijana alisema business must continue. I like him Bernard. Alisema we Kenyans we don't even need it. So now kwa sababu umenunua, you go to the shop Bernard, you buy things and go with it. So that young man was so good. I like him. He say as Kenyans hata hatuna shida and we don't need it. So Adani kunja airport yako peleka India. Alafu na sisi tuchukue Wilson Airport Bernard tuilete hapo. And I was like, wow. So Kenyans know what is their right. And still I can say that. Kwa sababu kama Adani anafikiria 55 million Kenyans will sit down and wait for him to come and take it. Then kijana ametuambia vizuri. Chukua hiyo airport atuhitaji. Alafu sasa tukuja na Wilson Airport, tukuje tutengeneze yetu. We can name it. Wewe umenunua Kenyatta International Airport, take it. Chukua China ya Jomo. Wachia sisi mchanga, and then now we will call it even Wilson Airport because sasa tutakuwa tumepromote. It is like a joke, Bernard, but it is not. You cannot just come and buy assets. Na kitu yenye inanisumbua sana is why do this government sell properties of Kenya? And then I come back. KICC, TC Kenya tulichukua tangu 1963. We never knew it was not a KANU office. We never knew it was not a KANU property. Until wakati Kibaki na Raila walikuja, we noticed KICC was built in the Kenyan money. And that is why KANU ikasurrender hiyo title deed. So whoever anafikiria kuuza any property yetu ya Kenya, it will come a time Bernard, tutakuja, tunataka kujua hiyo JKIA ilichengwa aje, how it happened, and then now Adani and the group take back. Grand Regency ilikuwa imeuziwa Camless Patni. Bernard, what happened? Camless Patni alitoka, Grand Regency ikarudi. So there are things that you can be in power and the assets belong to Kenyans, it will come back. Na hata kama wamesign agreement ya kwamba ukitaka kurutisha unaenda international community. Even the international community, the lawyers will not agree. You cannot go to and then we close it. So now Adani, he will tell us. At hiyo airport haitafanya kazi, we don't care. Watu wataenda kupanda ndege Uganda, wanapanda Tanzania. Tunatumia Wilson Airport na hiyo mahelikopta yetu ndogo ndogo. We go wherever we want. We will use the buses kwenda Uganda ama Tanzania kukete international flight. While Adani amekunja yake amepeleka India. So there are things that we cannot play with it. And this government is only 5 years. I was happy the way Churchill was handled with the Senate. Omatata came, friends of Olendama, friends of committee. So Dennis was good. And wanaenda kuandika report. We are just waiting for that report. The only thing I was worried is I see some people saying tumetoka UTA. So kama munatoka UTA, then that is very nice. Tunafunga kila kitu, Bernard. There will be no more UTA. Na Adani alisign contract na UTA. And I see Milima Kenya wanasema they have already left it. So we are happy because Adani, he will get nobody. Kwa sababu najua keep na watu yake ni wa URP. So we don't have something called UDA, wheelbarrow. So Mr. Adani, I think you have to make yourself clear. You have to name the individuals, not the country. Kwa sababu kama chama inaitwa UDA tunafunga pia, tunapeleka sijui hiyo pena, sijui tutapeleka wapi, kwa sababu hapo tunaenda naye India. Sasa Mount Kenya naona Waikuru, naona group na Kiunjuri, a lot of people they are leaving. So I wanted to know wakitoka wanakunja tutaionea wapi? Hiyo naye tunaionea kwa wheelbarrow ama tutaionea where? Because I know UDA iko kwa yetu yao. Mimi nina Kenya na sisi tulitoka mapema. So we don't have that problem. And that is it, Bernard. But we are jumping to other things. What happened with the children? Wale wanafunzi ya shule. Because these people fight things every day, Bernard. So watoto walipatikana ama walikuwa na wasasi wao. The 9 they are saying walipoteza maisha is that 20, I don't know. So our country tuko na shida. And I think kitu inaweza kutuunite, Bernard, ni umoja. Haijalishi vile tutatusiana, haijalishi vile tunaona watu wengine. Like now, if anybody talks look like ODM, people are against them. People shout them down. Somebody even akiwa na some points. Naona wengine jana walikuwa na karibu wanaambiwa wewe ni ODM, you don't have to say anything. But please, the more you accuse, the more you see others, look others down. We need that peace. Hakuna nchi pena tutaikomboa hata tukifanya nini when we were divided. Now for those people who are really strong and they want our country, mungeonea story ya TNC. Wakati watu wengine waliingilia ndani pena, that thing collapsed. So they should even know again, hii kukuja mtu akue na roho safi, itelekate his time to come to this show. And then over certain penat, somebody was trying to say something and everybody was shouting it. I feel I did not attend the show yesterday, but I was listening. I do listen every day. And that is why I was telling Gabe, sometime my brother, my son, you are the real warrior. And that is why the Somoes, Kimyoles, they tell Musungu not to come to our country. And I think you carry that blood. So, Bernard, tunasikizwa na watu wengi. ODM imechieleza. And ODM kama inakuwa ni mtu kama Lala ama mwingine ndio amefalishwa hiyo nguo ya ODM. Na amekuja hapa na mumekuwa na yeye the longest time. And then when somebody want to speak, surely. There was that guy yesterday, I don't know the name, I forget. He was with us. But the questions he was trying to say, nobody want to listen. And it was genuine question, Pennant. They were very genuine. But because the name looked like ODM, they don't want to hear. But the good thing is, you don't want to hear that name, now tell us these ones they are moving. Where are they going? Thank you. Me, I'm
Okay.
Bernard, I love this show. I will not shy when things are not right. And when you come to this show and you want to shut down others, I think that is not right. But we watch. Kenya is for us all. Na kama inauzwa, itauzwa tu. Na kama itabaki tu, because Bernard, your brother give out the sword. Hatukuiba hiyo sword, tuliiba kura, yes. Tuliiba tena sword. You gave it to us.
Sawa mami. Tosha. Ujumbe umefika, asante. Naomba hivi tumakinike kila mmoja kukaribishana. Thank you mami for bringing that up, and from the last time I checked, ODM is a national political party, duly registered in this country, and people are members of ODM by choice, and people can leave ODM by choice. So there is no crime being an ODM or associating with ODM. I'm a life member of ODM, and I'm not planning to move anywhere. And anybody who has a problem with ODM, I can show you the direction to Orange House. We have several offices. There is the Capitol Hill one for Baba himself, and then there is the one for Azimio. Then there is the one wherever in the Orange House. And we now have an acting party leader, Anyang' Nyong, the professor himself. So if you have any issue with ODM, our office,
we will have a new one with Nyang' Nyong in Kisumu.
our office is very effective. We have a very able Secretary General who can take on anybody anytime. So there is nothing wrong with being with ODM, and ODM is valid. Any person who has a problem with ODM, is his personal problem, and sijaona mahali popote ODM inalazimisha watu kukaa kwa ODM ama kulazimisha watu wasitoke ODM. Kila mtu anakaanga ODM kwa kupenda, na yule anataka kutoka anatoka kwa kupenda. So tusilaumiane. Pili, masuala yanayoharibika katika nchi hii hajasababishwa na ODM. Okay? Tuambiane ukweli. Uongozi mbaya wa nchi hii unatoka mbali, na unatokana na sisi kutokubali kuacha sheria ifanye kazi ipasavyo. So let's not look for who to blame. Let's focus on what we need to do, and that is rescue our country. And we rescue our country by insisting on the rule of law. I believe it is important that we keep in the center of what the law provides majorly. Then secondly, on where the blame lies. Right now, we are discussing the shady deals of Kenya Kwanza administration in selling off our assets. That is the major problem. And then Mama also brought up that, reminding us about the issue of the Russia Hill Academy, where the children were lost. There was a demo being planned by parents. They were traveling to Nyeri. So I don't know whether it took place or is going to take place. And then the updates are not forthcoming, except for the private investigators. And some of those private investigators, the information they give, we must counter check first before we share it, because it's a risk. But all that is happening in this country, it's all on bad leadership, and that bad leadership is by us relaxing the law. Tungekataa kwamba wezi hawezi kuwa rais, wakora hawezi kuwa rais, watu wako na corruption cases hawezi kuwa rais, hatungekuwa hapa. Lakini kwa sababu tulifika mahali tukaona hii sheria ina apply, lakini it does not apply to this one, it applies to this one, it does not apply to this one. Look at the mess we are in. Reverend Lala, you can come in and give your views. Keep wewe ndio utakuwa chairman. Mimi masaa yangu yameisha.
Nikuwe chairman aje bana mzee?
Tafuta mwenyekiti mwingine, mkalie kiti nyinyi wenyewe. Mimi sitishwa chama hiki. Mtu anaweza kuwa party leader.
I have to go now. Next week, man. Big boss.
No. Find me Stony PK because
I'll do that.
I will leave in maybe 30 or so minutes.
Yeah, me
Reverend
too.
Lambe, karibu.
Asante Bernard, asante Kip, asante mama wetu, mama Selina na wenzetu ambao mnanisikiza. Amjambo. Nitaanza na story moja ambayo pengine umesikia. Kulikuwa zamani za kale kulikuwa na mfalme. Na huyu mfalme alikuwa na reign yake siku zile ambazo hakukuwa na looking mirrors, hizo mirrors za kujiangalia, hawakuwa na mirrors. Sasa huyu mfalme alikuwa anapenda kuambia watu ni very ugly, usilete huyu mtu hapa, is very ugly, everybody was ugly, and so he would laugh at people. And then maybe a foreigner, whoever came in with a mirror, a looking glass, akampatia ajione. When you saw how he looked like, he never called anybody ugly again. And that was the beginning. And what I'm saying that to say this, that the so-called anti-ODM, anti, anything else, demonizing other people, they themselves, I wonder where they've been. I wonder if they voted for Baba at all, or they're looking for power and waiting for somebody to do the job, and then they come and push you aside. Because this idea of anti-ODM and the rest of it is not really genuine as I look at it. Well, there's some people who are genuine. They look at it as betrayal, but majority of the people, I believe, have other interests. Because if there's a genuine interest, yes, you can have disagreements. You may disagree with somebody, but you look at the bigger picture. Okay. And so when we see people claiming to be holier than others, that they are like the one who are fighting, where were they when those young people are being killed during ODM Mandamano? Okay. A lot of people saw this and they were fighting. And where were they? Did they register their name? Did we know them on the street? Or were there those who are saboteurs who are there? Sometimes people love Mandamano. They love it, they promote it because they have a store, some shop somewhere. When people are tired, they go buy water, they buy this and buy this from their stores because they are making money out of it. So we have to critique, these people who claim to be holier, the ones that are real fighters for freedom. They are the ones who have the answers. Okay, and yet they were not there. They have not been consistent. One thing we know that Baba and a number of people, Martha Karu and others, have been consistent. Okay, so it is important for us to step back, wait, and look at all the facts, all the data. Look at what's really going on. Then you can come to proper conclusion that this is what's going on. Because in my mind, cancer imejeneza kila pahali. Okay, a matter of fact, you look at the other side, you see people with all kinds of motives. So it is a time to purge the entire system. What is that medication that they use to clear the inside? Okay, Daudi alifanya dhambi. Okay, I think Psalms 41 alisema clean me, unioshe Mungu. Yani, by the high soaps. You see, high soap a long time ago was a laxative. When your stomach ina vitu unakunywa hiyo aoshe huko ndani. Yani Daudi anasema wash me inside, nipatie collectively huko isafishe huko ndani, not just outside. Yeah, most of us wanataka kujiosha outside only, alafu tunaonekana kwamba we are the great men, we are the fighter, we all this. But then when it comes to where the rubber meets the road, yani when things are rough, we want the way out. When we see the opportunity are available, we step back in there. Okay, so we have these kinds of people all around us, and so I think wherever we are, especially when you see things disintegrating, then you're wondering, what is it that has been holding us together? Is it only Baba? Now Baba is not there, everybody is disintegrating. Okay, so it is important for us to go back to the drawing board and ask ourselves, are we really genuine? We want to combine G8 because things are bad, because you can't look back and where we are. Things are falling apart systematically, step by step, piece by piece. Everywhere there's some issues going on. And the saddest thing is that the unity of the people, when we thought fight against bad governance would pull us all together. We might disagree on strategies, but we are together on that one thing, that we want a clean government that works for us. Okay. But it seems as if that's not an issue. People are thinking of personalities. People are revolving around certain interests, which are not nationalistic. And people anti-ODM. And so you wonder, what is it that this anti-ODM is? Okay, because yes, there are people with issues here and there in all the parties, but ODM has been the most consistent party in the nation. If there's a problem, it can be handled. But for people who are not even ODM, never voted for it, didn't want it, all of a sudden now they are the ones that are holier, they are the king telling everybody it's ugly. I think that's the mistake that we are making here. So let us rally around bad governance. Adani cannot be allowed to win, okay? But even Adani is not the issue. Adani is not the problem. Adani is a secondary problem. I know everybody's calling Adani, calling him name. No, it's the Kenyans who are looking for those bad guys. Because if Adani is not there, another Adani will come in. If we let the system stay, there's nothing will change. Adani will be gone, another Adani is coming. Look at what happened. Ruto alitupatia some promises, akadanganya about GNCs, and what has changed? Nothing. They're still doing the same thing, lying to us, window dressing, making us feel like there are changes, yet the core of his leadership still stayed the same. Okay, the same people are the same, still there. We go to parliament listening to the same group. What do we expect? Yes, we might stop the airport, but then what else has gone on? We don't know. This is actually by God's grace that we learned about the airport. We may not have known till too late. But right now it is early enough. God has opened our eyes to see it early enough to stop it. There's nothing like letting him stay with it. Let's stop it. For Kenyans who are in Kenya, okay, some of us, we are outside. And the reason why we are outside here is simple. Sheria inafanya kazi. Sheria inafanya kazi. Naishi Ohio. Wakati huu tuna shida. Shida yetu ni Trump alisema tunakula foreigners, Asians, Haiti, watu kutoka Haiti, na tunakula umbwa zao. Naona. Lakini the law will not allow such racists, bigots, and others to win, because with all these problems, there is something you can go to court, you can actually stand on something, and somebody will listen to you. But in Kenya, court, you don't go with the law, you go with money or Ruto. Okay, that's what wins. If they are known to you, the law is on your side. Okay, so we have a problem and we can stop it. And the first one is this airport should not go. Period. Because even if it was we needed to upgrade it. Things are done in secret, and these are public properties, public assets. Zinauzwa private. We don't know. People are meeting in Dubai, signing with private companies and transferring assets to the nation. I don't care whether it's a genuine, legitimate, but it was not legal. Clearly, something is wrong there, and that has to stop. And even if it has to go on, the thing has to be scrapped and something new, open, transparent, bidders bidding for whatever it is, and Kenyans are able to vote and weigh in on it. That's how it is done, and we do it here. That's everywhere in the world. Any free democratic country, make sure that all is open, transparent. Even private companies, Google right now cannot just come out and buying another company without Congress authorizing it, because they're looking at it as a national issue. Because when somebody has a lot of power, I live in a town where Rockefeller was born. Where I am, his home is a few miles, just 1 or 2 miles away. Okay, where he had all the Standard Oil was here. The man had the wealth, the richest man on earth. Congress said, you know what? One man cannot have all this power. And they came in and broke up his company. He had to sell it to different entities. So we have ASO or whatever, Shell and others. All this used to be called Standard Oil. So even private companies don't just merge and sell and without, there's a body that regulates that. But in Kenya, a government, people property, changing hand to somebody for 30 years, and then he has so much power. I think, Bernard, maybe you have to bring a lawyer to help us understand. And I think Magufuli even talked about some of the vikwazo ambao wanafanya. But you can't even build another airport. There are so many laws around the country, and as they come in to control your land, kama wabeberu tu wamerudi. There's no difference. So, and this is wrong, and it should never, never happen. If there's a law that gave that provision, those people who gave that law, give it away or change that law should also face something. There should be, whoever come to power, we'll have to bring them to answer those questions. Why would they do something like this that have been done? But sisi wananchi ndio tunanchi, because it's our nation. We say no, it's a no, and that should be final. There should never be any appeal. Wananchi wakisema tumesema, hiyo ni must go that way. If we let Ruto win, then the country has lost, and Kenya will never be Kenya, that we knew it. It's changing faster and faster and faster, and sooner or later it's gone. And that's my take on the subject.
Okay. Thank you, Reverend Lala. We appreciate that. And I keep asking the same question. Did we have a problem with Jomo Kenyatta International Airport? Was a replacement of the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport part of Kenya Kwanza Manifesto? Did they have a program of upgrading our airports? The upgrading of the airport, was it part of the budget of the 2022-2024 finance bill? Where did this thing, when was it hatched? When was it conceived? Where was it discussed? Who approved it? This is clear corruption. And so as Kenyans, we must not accept this, because you accept once, you accept all. The Bible says if you break one law, you are guilty of them all. The moment we allow one item to go, everything else will go. And so the only way to deal with William Ruto is frustrate him in his attempt. Just like he tried to tax us unnecessarily and we rejected the finance bill, we should reject every attempt to sell any parastatal. Iwe inatengeneza profit ama itengenezi profit. Parastatals are not meant to make profit. Parastatals are meant to serve Kenyans and make service to Kenyans affordable. That's the reason for the parastatals. And so selling off anything that belongs to Kenyans without the Kenyans' consent is robbing Kenyans. And we must not allow that. And so, just like Mama Selina said, Kanu had taken over KICC and said they were given as a gift by President Moi. But the law had its own vikwazo yake. Sema the president cannot give a gift that is more than what, 20,000 shillings without the consent of parliament. So to say, when was it discussed in parliament and passed that this building is given to Kanu as a gift? And on that law, the whatever property had gone to Kanu reverted back to government. And so what is happening here is clear theft. Ni watu fulani wamekubaliana wakakutana waibie wa Kenya. And that's why I want every Kenyan to understand. Huu ni wizi ambao ulikuwa unafanyika. Tunashukuru Mungu umefichuka. Kwa hivyo sisi kama Wakenya tusimamie hapo. Airport yetu hakuna mahali inaenda. Iwe inavuja, iwe iko na mende, iwe na panya, ni yetu. Sisi tutafuta mitego za panya baadaye. Tutamkodisha Gachagua zile alikuwa anatumia State House, anaweza kutusaidia tukakamatie hao panya wa airport. Lakini sasa hivi Wakenya wote, let's agree together. Our airport is not going anywhere, and whoever has given money atafute wale watu walipatia pesa wamrudishie pesa yake. Wakenya, we don't owe anybody anything. We were not selling the airport. We were not leasing the airport. We had not advertised any deal anywhere in any newspaper that tuko na kandarasi hapa ya kurenovate airport. Mtu gani anaweza kuja kuturenovatia? That advert they should produce, and when was that passed? So if that is not there, wizi ukomeshwe. Na wote ambao ni wezi hapa Kenya wakamatwe, washughulikiwe kulingana na mujibu wa sheria. Naomba tucheze hii kidogo tu alafu Lala utaingia then mama.
I think the last cabinet had brokers inside, because how would Adani want to spend 1.8 billion to upgrade and expand JKIA, while Qatar Airways in Rwanda wants to build a very good airport at the amount of 1.3 billion. Secondly, I did not see any committee that sat with the then Transport CS, Kipchumba Murkomen, to engage in any discussion, because he was the Transport Cabinet Secretary at that time. 1.8 billion is enough to build a new functional airport. So Adani would have come and built their own airport. They could have leased land to them. But now there is a broker in between Adani, the Cabinet Secretary then, Kipchumba Murkomen, and Nabi. I really want to know who the broker is. What shocked me more is this, that deal between JKA and Adani will be compensated if there are interruptions from courts or parliament or protests. I have come here this morning to tell you that our parliament, our government, our cabinet is run by brokers. What wako mboka?
Haya basi, mambo ni kama hayo. Reverend Lalo ulikuwa unasemaje?
Bernard, I think we are letting people like Murkomen easy. We are letting people like the president very easy when we start looking far from them Adani is like Atur Margayan and the rest. People like Adani are there to make money. How they make it, that's another question. We have got no power, no control over them. It's the same thing that happened during the election. The Camagos were brought in. Okay, they bring them in, they use them for their own particular interest. And so if we love our nation, we must stop it. Let me also say something about where I live. John Hopkins International Airport is not well known by most people, but remember, Ohio is the home of aviation. Whether it is the first flight, whether it is all astronauts, Neil Armstrong and all this group, these are Ohio products. Okay, the Hopkins Airport was the first chartered municipal in the whole world. When you start the flight, and I happen to be the one running the hospital. I wish I would bring her here. She is a woman who is my personal friend. I'll bring her on here to tell you how airports are run. Our airport here is owned by the city of Cleveland. Okay, it houses different people, including the federal government. One part of it is NASA Lewis, where they made all the important flights for Apollo and the rest of it. Okay, so it's a national treasury that nobody plays around with. So when people like Murkomen and Ruto plays with a national security entity, which is so critical to us as a nation, the question really people may ask, are these truly Kenyans? Do they really care about the nation? When they took that oath of office, wakachukua hiyo kiapo to defend, are they doing it? So me, I'm looking at almost treason here. I'm looking at people that really don't care for the nation. And Kenyans must know that. The Kenyans must demand that. Any single day we let them off the hook, we are hurting ourselves. And this is where they did the election, okay? And we kind of pull our feet from the accelerator a little bit, and so they're getting boldened. So the airport, and we don't know the others that are gone. Some of them will find them much later, because these people don't have any ethics. They're full of themselves. They don't take care. They care for the least of all of us, our children, our students. The kids are, and the rest of the school, kept like sardine, yet they are doing business with items like airport. And again, airport bring in money. Okay, all this needs is management, proper money. The money is coming. Every plane that comes in, every ticket that is bought, there is a percentage that can go to the government. The airport is a money maker. Okay, it's not a business to do business, yes, but it's keep bringing in. It doesn't compete much in terms of something want to be sold here and there. As long as the plane is coming, it should have the money. So it is a cash cow for some people. So to sell it, is strange, it's weird, especially when you want to expand an airport. Already the business itself, the way it is, if you're looking even for funding, there are hundreds of people that will put money in to do all kinds of business at the airport. As a matter of fact, the young lady, the one that I'm talking about, had even asked me about our airport. She wants to come to Kenya and look at some of the activity that can be done in those airports.
Keep it brief. Keep it brief, please.
So the thing is, we are not desperate. The nation is those who understand how it works. There's no single reason to look for someone privately to come to be our rescue person when actually money is coming in. The planes are landing. If you need an airport, there are methods, strategies, and ways to come up with another airport or to expand it. Not this private thing that even the Senate did not know. If it's to be sold, the people should be asking about the sale are the senators, are the MPs, because they're the one who should know, and they don't even know. They don't know. So to me, that by itself nullifies, that's the spirit of the law. That should not, this thing should not go on, period. No matter how you can prove how above the board things were done, there was no bribe and all that, already it smells, it stinks, it's bad, it's something that should not happen to any of the entities, any of our national interests, any of public properties should never be sold this way. The law that was made to do that is a bad law. That is actually anti the spirit of the Constitution. Back to you, Bernard.
Okay, thank you, Reverend Lala. Mama, you can make your comment, then we bring in Alex.
Yes, Bernard, it is worrying, but still we have to talk as Kenyans. Na hii wachambasi Bernard, tunalipa pesa ya Europon. We don't know who are the Europon people. Wanaweka the country in crisis. Alafu sasa wakichakuliwa wanasema tumeingia kukuja kulipa deni ya wengine. Ni deni yao. So chenye tunataka kujua sana sana Bernard, from our senators ni kwamba like everybody imesainiwa, is the deal over or it is not over? Na kama wamefanya the deal, every time ukifunja mkataba na wewe ndio umefunja, unaambiwa unalipa. I don't know whether ni half of it ama ni, we want to know. Hii proposal ilikuwa imekuwa signed, it is a signed deal, ama vile tuliambiwa kuna watu wako China wanaendelea na memorandum of understanding or wherever. How could we stop this as Kenyans? Kabla ijakuwa tunakuja ambiwa ati tunafunja. Yani mkora anakuja wanatengeneza agreement, unless isemekane hiyo agreement ilikuwa ni ya Mogurmen na rafiki zake, then it cannot be Kenyans. But when as we talk, we really need watu watusaidie tujue kabisa ukweli, is that deal done ama shida ni nini? Kwa sababu we need to know hili inji tusiambukiswe kukuja tena kulipa. Wanasema tuliingia na serikali, tulikuwa na deni, sasa ni lazima tulipe deni, na hata waambii wa Kenya, are we supposed to pay hiyo madeni? Na hiyo madeni nani alikuwa amechukua na ilifanya nini kwa nchi yetu? That is all what I can say, Bernard.
Thank you, mami. A very good question. Na labda Alex atapeana more light on the same, but mimi nitasema hivi, kama tumekutuma, kwa mfano mami, wewe tumekutuma uende kutafuta mchumba, wewe ukateremka pale inaitwa Bomet, umetumwa utafute nini? Mchumba. So huyo mchumba ukimleta, okay, gharama ya kumleta tutasimamia. Kwa nini? Tulikutuma. Lakini wewe ukienda Bomet uone msichana mrembo, wewe ubebe hujaagizwa, hujatumwa, ulete, alafu unasema urudishiwe fare. Nani anakurushia fare? Nani aliyekutuma? So huu mkataba kama nchi ya Kenya ndio ilituma Murkomen, okay, akasaini kwa niaba ya nchi ya Kenya, then it is binding. Kenya is responsible. Lakini kama Murkomen alichukua tiketi yake akaenda Dubai, kisiri, akakutana huko na Adani, wakakubaliana, basi yule msichana waliyekutana naye, ile mikataba waliosema iko juu ya vichwa yao, sisi wa Kenya hatukuwatuma. Hapo ndio mimi nasimamia. Alex, vipi lakini? Alex, upo kweli? Okay, inaonekana Alex amenaswa. Lakini mambo ni kama hayo. So kama kama wewe umebebana na msichana wenyewe ukaleta mjini, useme utamtafutia mme, basi umtafutie mme, lakini kama ukutumwa, sisi hatuhusiki. Yes, Lala, unasemaje?
Wajua nchi ya Japan, huyu msichana alikuwa ameoleka na kijana akaona ni msichana ni mzuri sana, alafu akapata mtoto wa kwanza, mtoto akawa ugly, alafu ni kweli kabisa story, akampeleka kotini, akasema huyu mama msichana nilimuoa, lakini alikuwa mrembo, kumbe alikuwa amefanya plastic surgery, watoto wangu wamekuwa wabaya. Anataka talaka, anataka talaka kwa sababu alidanganywa, kwa sababu watoto ni wanini, ni ugly, sio kama ile picha aliona kwa mtandao alipowana wanaoana mambo. Sasa nyumbani ni kitu kingine, na hiyo ndio shida ya udanganyifu mwingi sana kwa watu wetu. Lazima hii talaka lazima tuchukue, kwa sababu mambo si mazuri kabisa, mambo si mazuri.
Okay, so let's bring in this video shortly and then we weigh on the same. Na Kipu, umepotelea wapi? Masaa ndio hayo, dakika kadhaa kufika saa 8 masaa ya Afrika Mashariki, mimi nitaanza kufungasha. Let's just listen out to this video shortly. It's a long one, but we will just play part of it. Hear what Kenyans are saying.
A new jet. Useless characters.
No, they've sent people to go investigate.
Useless characters. What are they investigating?
They've sent people. They're saying
nonsense.
We don't know the matron was.
Forget
not
about
here.
That's nonsense. Sometimes even you need to be serious.
Yeah, tell me.
Jed, be serious sometimes.
Yeah.
Who is Kimani Ichung'wah? Who is he? Just a small little boy.
Majority leader parliament.
What nonsense? Even the MPs told him the other day, you are not the one. We never elected you. You were appointed by William Ruto. And if President Ruto thinks that he's going to push Adani down the throats of Kenyans, we shall confront him head on. We shall confront him head on. These are not his assets. Why is he getting angry? Why is he getting frustrated?
What gives him the idea that he can do as he wishes? This is not his personal house, this is not Sogoi. I think the president needs to stop being simplistic.
Is there a vacuum post-Raila?
Play one clip where Ruto has spoken truthfully.
A very good day to you and welcome to Philip Kisia Unscripted. My name is Jadel Kabir. It's always an honor, it's always a joy, it's always a privilege to have you joining us every single week for these conversations we hope will help our political leaders in making better policy decisions and informed political moves. Philip Kisia is a former Nairobi Town Clerk, leadership and governance expert, ex-KICC CEO. We have him on this platform because he says the truth as it is. And Philip, great to see you. I wonder if you're receiving any death threats. Last week, the things you said here.
Jed, you know, those are, I mean, why should I even be bothered?
People are getting death threats out right here. Outside.
Why should I even be bothered, Jed? With small little fellows sending you messages? Is that something to bother a whole man like myself?
What do you call what you're doing? Is this patriotism?
Those fellows are useless. And if they have nothing else to do, they can direct the threats to some other small little boys. I don't care, man. You know, I have lived long enough. You know, There are things I cannot say here,
Yeah.
but really, that should not even concern anybody. What they need to do, because in any event, Kenyans are already dead. They are dead with the cost of living. They are dead with corruption. They are dead with poor governance. They are dead with bad leadership that we've experienced. We are already dead. So you can't kill a man twice. Let them not waste their time. They should spend their time in a more useful manner.
Someone was asking me.
By doing useful stuff, like fixing the economy.
So, I meet a lot of people out there. So, is this patriotism or is it just Kisia's hate for the government that is there? What is this?
Why should I hate anybody? I just hate corruption and bad leadership, poor management. That's what I hate. The day he starts behaving well and fighting corruption and exercising good leadership and good managementship, I will respect him. I'll be praising him. I'll join his choir, praise and worship. But for the time being, bro, my job is to tell him that he's doing badly. That's my job.
A conversation for today is all about his deputy, Rigathi Gachagua. Headlines are he's under siege, isolated, ameteleza mlimani. We'll talk about that, but just as always, it's always good to hear what you've seen this week in case I haven't noted a few dots there.
Jed, I think Kenyans, there's hope, Kenyans.
Yeah.
Dear Kenyans, there's hope. You know what? The courts have asserted themselves this week. They have sentenced a man called Musengeli, the acting IG, to 6 months imprisonment for disobeying court orders. The courts have given us hope. They have actually demonstrated that they are separate, that the judiciary is not part of the executive. And I must say that that judge has courage. And I want to pray for him, that God may protect him, that God may give him good health, so that he may continue serving this country. You heard him say that he was receiving threats, his bodyguards receiving some funny calls and some funny messages to intimidate the judiciary. And then, Jed, you are sitting here asking me why I speak the way I speak. We cannot have a lousy administration like this one, intimidating everybody and thinking they are God sent. Who the hell do they think they are? Bloody useless. Let me tell you.
Let's go to the second highlight.
Musengeli must be reminded that the people of Kenya have powers to arrest him, and he must be arrested if he does not present himself within the time that has been prescribed by the judge to serve his 6 months in prison. Kenyans should arrest him and present him to the Commission of Prisons so that he can serve his sentence. He is not above the law. Just in case his boss, William Ruto, told him that you are above the law. Just in case William Ruto had given him the confidence that you can disobey court orders. Nobody in the Republic of Kenya is above the law. He must, by this weekend, committee, if he doesn't, Kenyans, wherever you are, and you meet one Musengeli, arrest him. Because the powers, you are given the powers through the Constitution. We are only, even the judiciary is acting under delegated authority from the people. He must be arrested by Kenyans.
You did citizen police, what do you, community?
Community policing. I'm the one who started community policing in Kenya.
Yes.
It was supposed to have been a collaboration between the people and the police. And we did good things at that time.
So as you're telling Kenyans to arrest Musengeli?
Yes, in fact, that was the old constitution. The new constitution is very clear. Citizens can arrest. So this man called Musengeli should be serving, should be taken to committee, presented by Kenyans, and as a kukula maharagwe from this weekend. That was good news, man. Why are you not celebrating? Come on, let's celebrate. Okay? Good Friday, man.
Yeah.
The other thing, and my little son, Ethan, and my kids know, because we keep on talking. And my son specifically asked me to talk about this matter. The issue of, what do you call that school?
Hillside?
Hillside.
Oh.
Hillside. In the Russia, Hillside. It saddened my children. And when I was dropping my kids today in school, your friend Ethan specifically asked me, and he said, Dad, you must talk about the life that we lost. Children who died in a dormitory. So, condolences from myself and my family to those who have lost their loved ones through that tragic accident. And those who are in hospital, we wish them a quick recovery. But then I was asking myself, we have a government that cannot even enforce standards that are there on safety. This is a government. Now I saw them, I don't know, in State House discussing or presenting a team that is going to inspect. We have a directorate of inspection in the Ministry of Education. What is their job? What is their job? We don't even have facilities for our children to learn in, proper dormitories, which are basic. We don't have even classrooms in this country. Children are learning under trees. We don't even have books. We don't have computer. We don't have anything. We don't even pay our teachers. But we have a government that is living so extravagantly in opulence. They even, are showing us belts worth 500K. The president is driving. Why can't he pick it up from this young man, Traore, Ibrahim Traore, riding in an old Land Rover? We have our president being driven in a car worth 80 million. They're even dreaming of importing, of buying a new plane for the president, and you have no classrooms? Shame on you, Mr. President. Shame on you. How can you? Why we are putting on expensive attire, courtesy, I'm sure, the public, but we are the ones who clothe you. You are being driven in expensive motor vehicles, not one.
Well, we'll pick it from there later on. Alex, tulikuwa tunakusubiri, ulikuwa umeingia campaign?
I was babysitting.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, Bernard Abari, I don't know, yesterday what happened, we missed you. I don't know if mimi ndio sikupata link ama nini.
I did pastoral mapema nikaondoka mapema.
Oh,
hata
okay.
leo saa hii sipasi kuwa hapa. But it's
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I know. By morning you're supposed to give a sermon, so we appreciate your time. I'm going to talk on two things, but first of all, let me talk what Kisia is saying. I hate knee-jerk reactions. I totally hate knee-jerk reactions because these are the kind of environment that we have created for so long that we babble when we have issues that come, but when really teachers are striking, we never sit down and ask the teachers all their issues. Because apart from the salary and the contracts, I believe teachers and their unions have expressed very well the things that Kisia is telling us here. But I think they've never been projected. We always project the payment and other things. But in between the lines, in any strike that teachers have had, they have opined on the issue of classrooms. They have opined on the issue of how a free primary education affected the number of kids per class and the number of teacher per pupils. They've always said that the burden that the Ministry of Health does talk like one doctor almost handles about 200 patients. You may find especially, let's say, an oncology in Kitsi level 5 hospital, it's only one, but people who have heart problems are like 5,000. Bernard, what do you expect? How many heart attacks do you expect? So I think it can't be like your son is telling you talk about the issues of in Russia. Let's pin it that the teachers of this country have come forth and told us the condition under which they are working and what ought to be improved. And from there, we pick it up. Because then, if we do that, then I think in a corporate way, we can win. For instance, Bernard, now that's my second now point. In my mind, and if you remember a couple of days ago, I believed that nothing will be done about Adani. Because we as Kenyans have always taken sides. Not only that, the political climate, especially the middle class people, only speak on X and other areas, but when it comes to real mobilization and agitation and fighting for the real thing, they connive. Then the poor and the weakest and the lowest in the society are the one that takes the burden. But I think we are seeing something different. The boldness of the nation as a whole in regard to this thing is giving us hope that with the exit of Raila from his position as the agitator, the chief agitator, it's creating another awareness that we don't need to have a chief agitator. We should take that position. It should never be given to an individual, because if that individual goes, then we are left with a vacuum. I was seeing, I don't know if it's here or somewhere, I was seeing somebody saying with the exit of Raila, do you think we have a vacuum? I don't think we have a vacuum. I think now we have the Murararas, we have the Kasmuel, we have the Bernards, some county talk, we have the Lalas, and I think their voices are going to be heard. So I'm proud of Kenyans that at least they are putting this country into order. And I believe, as I said the other day, we need a man who will come forth and stop William Samoei Ruto from this nonsense. And I think that man seems to be the person who has given Masengela a sentence, therefore reviving our hopes in what? In the courts. Because the courts are like Minyo Bernard. Hawa watu ni kama Minyo inatumanga. Today they are okay, tomorrow sijui wako aje. So you cannot put your faith in them. That is the problem they have given us. That some things they do, it's like the Senate. When it comes to Monda, they became a Senate that we really wanted. Now, when it comes to Adani issue, we are just seeing a few people fighting for Kenya. You are seeing there Onyonka fighting as if he is actually the only person who understands the issue of Adani. As if Onyonka is the only one who has those papers in front of him. You see the anger of Onyonka and his passion, and you may just believe that yeye peke yake tu ndiye anajua what is going on with Adani. But Bernard, every senator in that chamber knows what is going on. And some are so pin drop silent, and you wonder what is going on. But, they are giving us a platform to say, you know what? I think the political class cannot be trusted anymore. And it shouldn't be near our problems anymore. And if they should come to our problems, they should not come as politicians. They should come as activists who speak truth to power without even fear. I'm so proud of Onyonka. I've had issues with him as my senator. But let me tell you, as a citizen, from day one, when he revealed about the young man, Dozier, to yesterday, his consistency and his passion, going to the media and revealing exactly, without fear of doubt, telling Gachagua to go tell his boss, looking at Chirchir and telling him, no, your president took a bribe without mincing his words. Okay? And finally saying, look, the whole issue, this is there's a name he called the deal. He said this deal is not detestable. There's a name he called it. But you know what? He's joining of the dots to form the straight line that look, this is not a Kenyan deal. This is Ruto's deal to own the airway by giving services, only 2 services to Adani. But the rest of the services, because they don't want to reveal the deal. Now, Bernard, pay attention. The deal that is given to Adani is 2 services, 2 major services. The rest, it's hidden. And that is what is preserved for William Samoei Ruto. I don't know if it's rumors or what, but my thinking, because of the things I was reading, and I think things are coming out which are making it more clear, which might be true, Bernard, because prior the election, when Ruto was campaigning, you asked a very question, what did he talk about our airlines and Jomo and the airport? Because those are 2 different entities. When he was campaigning, he actually said, we have put 100 billion towards the airport and the airlines. He said that. Now, Bernard, we need 1.8 or approximately 2 billion US dollars in a span of years, not immediately, Bernard. And that's one thing people should understand. It's not like you will get that money and overnight we will build an airport, or we will, remodel, or we will do away with this and this within a day. But it's progressive over years. Okay, even a terminal, you saw how long it took for us to do the other terminal. It took a long time. So, Bernard, in a span, because it can't be less than 5 years, in a span of 5 years, you want to tell me that we can't get even half of that money? We do it progressively as we better off and keep getting more profit so that we can inject again that money back again to the airports. Now, what is disturbing is the planes that have been bought are waiting to the new deal, which means Kenya Airways is going to be a subsidiary. It's not going to be a national carrier. There is a mindset of creating another carrier that will be the main, okay, to overshadow Kenya Airways, and that carrier, the owner, probably is William Samoei Ruto. It is the classic example of the housing levy and why he fought tooth and nail, because the contractor, the distributor, and everything except kazi ya mjengo was his and remains so until today. The distributor of the cement, of the steel, of the timber, of the iron sheets, the main things, they are unknown. But we are told we have 200,000 jobs. Those are the only things we know. And they can produce those people because that is petty cash that's being paid to them. That's easy for them to show us. So it's a replica of what they have done in the housing, and they got scot-free. Now they are Xeroxing it or copy and paste to the airport. My problem is, Bernard, I know you want us to be nice to Mzee. I know we should be. My problem is, while all this is happening, Mzee is giving this man his contacts. The people that were in our manifesto, so that Ruto can ride on them, that is creating jobs, while actually firing the 5,000 employees of the airport. So today they're announcing in German that now we have a deal, but in 2 years, we have actually outsourced all our employees in the airport. You see? But thank God, it's not going to happen. 2 days ago, 3 days ago, I believed that Kenyans will do nothing. But Bernard, the truth is that Kenyans have done something. Our airports are not going. And we are not talking about JKIA. You know, we are talking Kenya Ports Authority. JKIA plus the 14 others, plus the 4 that needs also to be built. So we are talking about 14 to 18 airports being managed by Adani. There's a nice clip that I saw. I don't know if it's true or not, but it was very interesting, Bernard. A couple of years ago, the Adani Group company, the subsidiary of Seaport and Airport, went to Australia to manage the airports. I don't know if you saw that clip. And the Australians, you need to go to TikTok. It's so viral. They went there and there was a lot of strikes because I kept looking and there were so many clips about it. So I almost said it's true. So the Adanis have tried this before and they have failed terribly. Okay? But still, there's something that Onyonka said, which still I cannot agree to, that we should give even the Emirates. No, we can't. It's profitable, but not profitable as it ought to be. So what they ought to have is a contingency plan that as we fight for it, the human capacity development of Kenya Ports Authority, JKIA and others must immediately start coming into order so that as we own it, we truly own it, knowing that it's a national asset. We must truly make it now a national asset because it was fought nationally and it must reflect a national emblem and logo to the world. Those are my few points that I wanted to say so far. But I hope it's not a bubble or a mirage. Let's wait tomorrow. The churches, the clergy people will speak. Usually, siasa tunapiga during the week. The clergy will come up and tell us what is happening. And once the clergy agrees with us, we pray for it in a good way. It's a sandwich, Bernard. They are there, we are here. Katikati mnatuwekea peanut sandwich. Ikiingia vizuri, tunakula. Tuesday, watu wanaenda airport kusema no. Thank you.
Exactly. Thank you very much, Alex, for those insights. Good insights indeed. Hapa nani amesema ulikuwa kwa mkutano na Adani na ameconfirm kweli ulikuwa na mkutano kwa Adani. Habil Matende ndio umeleta mambo jinsi yalivyo na tunashukuru. Ladies and gentlemen, as we continue to engage, masaa ndio haya na katika. Walimu wangu wa usiku sijui wako wapi. Hebu mnitafutie Stone PK kama mnataka show iendelee. Mimi masaa yangu yameisha, ningependa kung'atuka. Alafu tumesema story ya nini? Kuna watu wanakerwa hapa tukisema maneno ya ODM. Mimi nimesema ni life member wa ODM. Mimi kama Bernard. Sijasema sound can't talk. Nimesema mimi kama Bernard. Okay? Na heshima yangu kwa baba haiwezi kuwa compromised. Niliwaambia baba yangu alikuwa mlevi. Tulikuwa tunambeba kwa mtaro, lakini heshima yangu kwake haiwezi kupotea. Sijalelewa hivyo. So ninyi wengine mko na uhuru kufanya vile mnataka, lakini kwangu mimi dhamira yangu na vile nimeundwa, the way I brought up, it's not possible for me to cross that line. So the rest of you can cross the line and still feel okay. You are free to. But for me, I can't get that. So don't invite me there. I will not go there. You persuade me there. I will not. Okay? Mzee Michael hapa ananipiga hapa vita ati nilimblock kwa WhatsApp. Ni kweli. Kwa sababu alikuwa amenifinya sana nifike kwa hiyo mpaka. Siwezi vuka huo mpaka tukutana na Yesu hivi. Kuna mambo ambayo mimi nimelelewa and I was brought up, grandpa aliniambia mambo ya wazee ni ya wazee, mambo ya vijana ni ya vijana. Ikifika swala kama hili, wazee ndio wanatatua, wazee ndio wanalishughulikia. Wewe ukijiingiza hapo unajiroga. Mimi sitaki kujiroga. So wengine wenu poleni, lakini so I really want us to be forthright, stand for what is right, and we are here because we are Kenyans, not because we are ODM or we are nini. ODM is just one political party. Kenya is a multi-party whatever democracy, and so tell us your political party. Mimi niliwaambia my political party. Kama political party yangu inakukera, pole. It's already too late. I'm already a life member, so mnataka nifanye nini? Baiche, kuna wale ambao pia wanasema ate sasa M-Pesa ile tunapeana tupeane kwa ODM. Sasa hapo ndio shida iko. Kwa sababu wakati tunakutana hapa kwa huu shirika wetu hapa wa Sound Candy Talk, hajakutana kwa ofisi ya ODM, hajakutana kwa jina la ODM, na hatufanyi siasa za ODM. Tunafanya siasa za Kenya, tunashughulikia masuala ya Kenya. Na kama wewe unaona ni kero kuchangia jinsi ya channel kusimama na kuendelea, usihusike. You're free not to. You're free to be here, participate in the debate, and don't contribute anything. You're free to do that. Sitakupigia simu, sitakufuata, sitakuinbox. Hakuna mtu ako na deni kwa kukuja kwa show na kuto contribute. Naelewana? Tumekuwa hapa miaka mitatu, hatuwezi funga kwa sababu yako. So we chuki yako na ODM kaa nayo, lakini wewe tekeleza wajibu wako kama Mkenya. Ukiona Raila amefanya nothing, there's no problem. Do something better than him. We will follow you. Tutawachana na yeye tukufuate. Wewe kama wewe ndio yenyewe na unafanya inafanyika, kwa nini tukuache? Tutakufuata. Lakini saa hii tuheshimu wale ambao umetutangulia. Haya ndiyo maandiko. Asante. Lakini so nashukuru, and then nashukuru Penny Nyagaga came around akatubu. Alisema ataleta mzalendo kutubu. Hiyo siku ya toba nataka nikuwe hapa. Niliambiwa Misa alikuja hapa katubu. Wewe Alex ndio ulimuongoza kwa toba. Mimi ndio high priest wa hii channel. Mbona mnaongoza watu kwa toba bila mimi? So whichever the case, we just want us to remain focused. Let's fight. The airport is not going, and so are other assets. Mkiruhusu Ruto auze kitu moja tu, basi nchi yote imeenda. Hiyo masuala mengine ya baba kupatia contacts, hiyo ni I think it's just a game from where I see it. It's just a game like kuna movie ningependa kunini Mama Selina I will recommend your movie inaitwa The Master. It's a Nigerian movie. Inaitwa The Master. 419 is just a game. You are the loser and I am the winner. So mami, if you this on YouTube, it's called The Master. Where watu wanatengenezanga cabinet. Okay? Atengeneze cabinet, aite mzungu, aseme hii ndio cabinet, huyu ndio minister wa hii, ndio minister wa hii, na tuko na contract ya mining, na tunahitaji tu ukideposit $10,000, okay? Tunapatia wewe hii contract ya $600 million. So mzungu anaona nimeangukia. Huyu ndio cabinet secretary, anatoa hiyo $10,000. Na akishatoa cabinet inakuwa dissolved, ofisi inafungwa, kila kitu inapotea. So watu kusign contract kwa boardroom, it doesn't mean the government has worked. And you cannot go to challenge the government or say you signed a contract with some minister who told you that is a minister of the government. So if you don't do diligent like Adani, and you want to give out money in the name of bribes that you should get a contract, be prepared to be disappointed, because at the end of the day, Wakenya wenye nchi watasimama kutetea haki yao na mali yao. Asante sana. So naomba tusonge mbele. Hiyo tape yani ya Kisia sijui mnataka icheze tena ama Reverend Lala, you need to add something to what we have said so far. And then, of course, we should also educate people what position to take, the stand to take, and then also the progress your law, wherever the matter is in court already. When is the ruling?
I think emphasizing what Alex stated that with Baba not directly directing all of us, I think his tutelage should have brought us to a point where, and I said this before, that we're able to see the signs and able to step in. For us to not even see the direction where we are going at certain times, and even the people that we herald, like Morara, and these are brave young people, they still need a lot of us. We can't. I always give the analogy of Mara River and those wildebeest crossing, wildebeest migration. When they come to the water, there are mambas there. There are very many mambas there, but there are those that will sacrifice themselves to be eaten while others are able to cross over. Kenyans, I think we have a problem. The problem is that we let the Moraras and the Kalsuas get in there, and we are still waiting on the bank of the river. So they are going to be eaten before we cross over. So I think the issue here is, what have we learned from Baba? Even though you don't like him, you want some of it, all kinds of things, but what have we learned? Did we learn that he was brave? Yes, he was brave. Was he a team player? Yes, he was a team player. Every time, trying to figure out how him and others could be able to do it. Okay, that's why he has survived all these years. So I think we should have internalized that and then stay with these brave young people. Let's be close to them. Let's cross over with them. But it's like we are there we are cheering them. When I was young, tulikuwa na vijana wengine tulikuwa tunaenda kupigana, kazi yao ni kufanya nini? Mkiwa mnachunga ng'ombe, anasema huyu alisema wewe niko hivi na hivi na hivi. They want you to fight. Their job was to kind of make sure that they see a fight, and they themselves don't get involved. They talk a lot, but they don't have anything, just hot air. So I think Kenyans, we must take steps. Thank God for Moraras and Kasui and others. They are following the footsteps of those that we know wamekuliwa na mamba on the inside. But the key thing here is, can we all do it? And so the case that we have here, there's the law and there's the politics. And I think this is where Kenyans should, if it's a court case, everybody should come in and we don't have to wait for even pastors, to talk. Let all of us simply listen to that inner voice within us, that we have come to a point of no return. Because things are breaking apart. Everywhere there's a problem. We just found the airport. Tomorrow, I'm sure there's going to be another one. And just look back. I think, Bernard, you need an archivist, someone to kind of help us, put into perspective where we have come from since Ruto got into power. Maybe before we talk, somebody could be able to, we have a board where we read how things are broken down. Because sometimes we forget. Kama tuna ile kasumba ama kuna nini ambayo inatufanya ili tufanye nini tusahau. So we need somebody to remind us, historians, and someone to be able to help us, put us, in perspective of what really has taken place so far. because it's getting worse. But it's like we are used to it. I mean, airport itself should have brought a government down. Any functioning democracy, this alone should have brought it down, because there's so much unknown, and it's that way. You mentioned, I think Alex talked about the housing. We don't know the details. Kenyans wanatafuata tu. We are just followers. We are not supposed to use our head. We're just supposed to be there. I don't know how many jobs talked about, but what is really going on underneath? And this is the time for us to be able to go there where decisions are made. We need to chuck people out of that room, that we can clean that room so that Kenya can be Kenya. Asante. Back to you, Bernard.
Okay, thank you, Reverend Lala. We appreciate that. Now, nataka nimpatie Big J atoe maoni yake kwanza, na kama walimu wa usiku hawakuji, nataka tuanze kumaliza. So Big J, how are you? Long time.
I'm good, Bernard. Thank you. I'm sorry for coming late. Lakini better late than ever. Ninakuaga.
Ninyi ndio wanafunzi wa Francis Ambuka. Francis Ambuka.
Asante sana Bernard, Mama Selina, Alex, Lala na wale wako kwa comment section na wasalimia. Nakuaga hakuna show huwa inanipita hata kama sijaingia kwa panel, lakini huwa nasikiza ama na watch, because I think it's kind of it's something that you cannot do without. Huwezi kaa tu hivi kama hujawatch hujasikiza ama kuwatch hii show. It's addictive. Because we have some of us, we are so concerned about our country, because definitely it's a sinking yani imeenda tu kwenda tukiangalia tukitazama tu hivi. Na mimi sitaki kuongea kuhusu kina Ruto sijui nini. I want to talk about differently. Mostly I want to my concern ni Kenyan judiciary. You know, judiciary is where that translates the law to people, because we don't know the laws properly, but the court is where that we get tunaelezwa vile inastahili kuwa. But our courts now is like it's part of the executive, because you see nowadays hata ukiona wanasiasa, if they have done any corruption or even murder or anything, they just rush to support the government. Why? Because that is where they will get backing. If you are in opposition and you have done something wrong, definitely they will come for you. So that is why you see almost everybody is on the government side. So there is nobody let's talk about Onyonka. There are many Onyonkas, but they fear because of wrong things they are doing behind the scenes. A lot of things they are doing, so mtu anaogopa kujitokezea, because ukijitokezea unajua Ruto ni nani, hata kutolea, hata kuambia ulifanya hii na hii na hii. He knows. He is so connected about maneno ya corruption, hizo murder, corruption and nini. He has the record because he's the chief of those things. So I think it's a high time that Kenya stands, judiciary to stand as the only way to help Kenya. Because without judiciary, Kenya is going to sink. I'm telling you, we are not going to do anything. We are going to sink. And Ruto is because Adani mnaongea kuhusu airport na niliona documents zinasemata Kenya Power inaitwa Kenatco inaitwaje Bernard? Kenatco. Haya. So that means zile nini zote za serikali kubwa kubwa they will be managing. That means they are taking the government and taking mostly the airport is something that we are concerned, but there is a lot of things that they are planning to take. So let us, I mean, for me, I think it's time for the judiciary to stand still and help this country. Without them, definitely we are not going anywhere. Because, or else, now, Wakenya waamue at once. Waamue at once. Waingie barabara 100%. Kila mtu atoke. That is the one, we have two options. Because unaona Mount Kenya watu wanapigana. I don't know why they are fighting. And the reason actually they are fighting, Ruto aliangalia akaona hapana, hawa Kikuyu wameanza kuniruka. Wacha nitoe Mount Kenya East na Mount sijui nini. Hiyo kitu inaendelea. So to divide and rule them so that they will not have a voice. And mimi naambia, by the way, Bernard mtanisamee, niliambia watu in another platform, Wakikuyu, they created a monster, but now that monster is biting them. So they let them chew it. Waachane kupiga kelele kusema ati nini Ruto. They are the one who created that monster. So it's time for the payback of what they created. Bernard, hata kama ni wewe ukifuga umbwa, usifuge umbwa mkubwa kukuliko, because siku ile atakuvamia huwezi kujisaidia. Unafuka kaumbwa kale, at least unajua umbwa ni umbwa. Ama mnyama wote ni mnyama. Ukifuga umbwa mkubwa ambaye atanona ajaye, ama ati simba unalisha simba anakula nyama vizuri, anashiba, ako na nguvu. Next time utakuwa ni wewe. So the Mount Kenya people created this monster, and now they are crying for sijui Marikiti market, sijui nini business, blah blah. Huyu Gachagua alikuwa wapi? Those who supporting Gachagua alikuwa wapi? He has been there before. Hao ndio walikuwa wanatuita sisi sisi ni wakora. So let them hold the horns of their monster they created. But we are not going to relent. We have been here for many years, Bernard, and we support what we said. Niliona juzi nani akikuja hapa akiambia Lex ati alikuwa anashona suti ya blue. We stand for what we believe in. It doesn't matter wherever way it goes. Because we stand, we know that it was the wrong thing that Uhuru Kenyatta did. And Uhuru Kenyatta is the one who started all these things. And we don't accept what wanasema ati Uhuru was the best president. Even Kibaki, for me, sijaona akiwa a good president. If he was a good president, ange-implement this constitution, sahi hatungekuwa mahali tuko. Now Ruto is running a government with the laws that are made in parliament. It is not constitution. So where are we as a country? We are nowhere. I mean, things are corruption after corruption, scandal after scandal. Watu wanakufa in thousands. Imagine a president hata he cannot even go there and say, yeah, surely. Other presidents unasikia ndege imeanguka imeua watu 7. Anaacha safari ya nchi, alikuwa anarudi kwao nyumbani kwenda kusema pole kwa watu 7 ama watu 11. But a president in the country, watu 200 ama 400 500, Shakahola walikuwa watu karibu milioni 100,000. Because many people are not counted for. Lakini president he has never. Alikuja kwenda huko sijui hata hajaenda, I don't know. Alituma sijui. Haya. Hii historia, because these people, they got this presidency through magic world. Uchawi. Na ujue Bernard, ukisikia Ruto anasema ati mtu fulani ako hivi ni mchawi, ujue anajiongelelea. He's not talking about that person, he's talking about himself. kusema ukweli, this country is yani the government of UDA ama sijui Kenya Kwisha, Kenya Kwanza, they are devil worshippers. And they are going to kill a lot of people because since they were in umeona watu wamekufa wangapi? Yani people are dying like insects. It's not something that which is not normal. Chakahola sijui nini Gware wanaenda kuintimidate wale vijana walikuwa wanaokoa mwili jamani. What country are we now? What country are we? Iliona Kitengela juzi watu wanatolewa kwa Gware pia. Bernard uliona? In Kitengela watu juzi tu last week. Watu walikuwa wanatolewa kwa Gware. So there is hizi magwarezi wale watu who are missing wako kwa Magware na rivers. How long are we going to be in a country like that? Na Kenyans, Mount Kenya MPs wanaanza kusema ati sijui ni Kindiki, wengine anasema sijui ni Gachagua. We have a bigger problem more than that being a kingpin. We have a biggest problem. They have to be focused on how are we going to change the narrative, because hao wote ni wa UDA ama Kenya Kwanza. Kama wangekuwa wanapigania kusema hey, change aje narrative because the way it's going is not normal. So our country, I don't know what to say, Bernard, but I feel so sad because kwanza wale wametuangusha ni judiciary. If judiciary they stand still and give us and translate laws and say no to no. Wao wanashika watu wameiba kuku, wameiba ng'ombe, wameiba mandazi, wanaacha mtu ameiba billions. And now in Kenya, to get rich, you have to steal from the government. In many countries, like where I am now, people even volunteer to support the government. Even, for example, a company. Unapata mtu anatoa, for example, kama ile kitu anaweza anasupport ile company, so that company continues. Because if that company continues, the area will develop. There is a lot of things that will happen to the neighborhood, to the country, to the county level. But for us in Kenya, if you want to still ingia county government, unaona mtu anaingia county government na it doesn't. We have to change the narrative. We have to change our mindset and become the original Kenyans, because we are no longer original Kenyans. We are no longer original Kenyans. So kijaribu kuangalia, yesterday I was looking at the suicide, the Kenyan suicide, whatever, kutoka 1969 to 2022. Lakini unapata suicide kuanzia 2020 to 2024. Suicide percentage iko almost 60%. That means maisha imekuwa ngumu after new constitution. Watu wamekuwa hawajiwezi, yani mental illness imekuwa too much because of life. Life is becoming so difficult. And the government is not even trying to, we don't have a government that thinks about their people. It thinks about how to get money. Kina ndani ya the rich people. Unaona wanaenda kutoa taxes kwa ndege. Na ndege ni watu wangapi naweza kununua ndege? Badala hata wange hiyo nini ya mandege wangefanya something like ile inasaidia the normal mwananchi, because ule mtu kwa nini I don't know even what to say, Bernard. Let me just stop there because I know you are tired.
No. Thank you for that. The judiciary is one aspect of our struggle that is going to be very instrumental in this war about the rescuing of the resources that belong to Kenya. If they don't play ball in terms of ensuring that the law should be followed accurately and what's unconstitutional is pronounced as unconstitutional and remains so, we are doomed. But the goodness is that if the judiciary fails, we have the public court, the court of public opinion. That one, your mob justice, it always works. And that is where we have all our investment. So Kome na timu yake wakipelekwa State House wachomewe nyama, wanyamaze. Sisi kama Wakenya ndio tutasimama tuseme hapana, wale walichomewa nyama tunawaombea wakule vizuri, lakini sisi nchi yetu haiwezi uzwa tukiwepo. So sisi wa Kenya ndio tutanusuru nchi hii kwa kusimama imara kwa haki zetu na kusitetea kabisa kabisa. So tumeanza kipindi cha lala salama. Walimu wa usiku wamekataa kuja, so nataka Mama Selina, kama upo, upatie maoni yako na jambo lako la kufunga, alafu Alex, alafu Lala. Mami, upo?
Nafikiri sina la kusema Penat. Tuombe Mungu tu tuone vile nchi yetu itaenda, na ni ngumu, na nimefurahia my brother, siku mingi ukweli isemwe. Hiyo tu, kama sisi wote tungesema ukweli hatungekuwa mahali tuko. Asante.
Okay, thank you very much Mama, we appreciate that. Buni aona hapa kuna nini hapa. It is sad accusing one tribe for the Kenyan lets down. This is how tribalism. No comment, Alex.
Yeah, Bernard, thank you. I have three things to say. First of all, this was a good week for us here in America. We had our first debate, and it was good. It was good to see a woman debate Trump, you know. And one thing I took out of it,
Alex, muache kukula paka na muache kukula umbwa.
one thing, Mama, you said you have nothing to say. Mama Nyamoja. One thing I got from it, and I'm glad, you know, Gachagua and Trump have one character. They are truthful men. These people, there are things they say we have to listen to. Haitians, they eat dogs and cats and wild ducks. Ruto amepeleka polisi yetu to eat dogs, cats and wild ducks. Na sisi tumenyamaza. I think Kenyans should stand up and ask Ruto what our police and forces are eating in Asia, Haiti. I think that would be a good political expediency to allow, because it's now a global a global narrative. It's not just a joke. I think that's the only way we can get our people back to Kenya, because I don't think what they are doing there is of any value, because according to the statistics, 30% of Haitians have left their country. They're seeking asylum all over the world because security is unattainable. And therefore, the deal of Ruto making money out of our young people, or instead of these people getting back to our country and secure our country, I think that should be the first and foremost thing that should be done. Our police forces must come back soonest, like yesterday. The other thing I wanted to talk is what Kithia said. The fire in Darasha. You see, Kenyans, we had an opportunity to resolve the issue of fire once and for all. And that's why I said, better, these issues of knee-jerk reaction must be stopped completely, so that when we have an opportunity, for now, we have an opportunity to resolve once and for all the privatization act that Ruto is using to do what? To sell the national assets and properties. We are not just resolving the issue of Kenya Airways. As Big J said, on the pipeline, we already have Kenatco, because Adani's, if you look at their subsidiaries, apart from airports and seaports, they are also the biggest green energy innovators and also investors in the world. So they are eyeing whatever, or they have already. You know, one thing, if you noticed, during the interrogation of Onyonka to Chirchir, and he kept bringing it up, and many people did not see. He said, I was in the ministry. I've been a minister for foreign affairs. There are ways things are done. And then Chirchir brought forth something about the PPP, public-private partnership. And then now, that knocked my head to remind me that, oh, now this traveling of Chirchir, remember Chirchir had a blackout when he came to JKIA, when the biggest blackout was there. And he said he was it affected him. But he was coming from Dubai, negotiating that deal. Okay? Okay, did they just negotiate the airport services, or they were also negotiating the PPP that he was talking about, and he was preempting us about it, so that next time he's called back, he will say that I already gave you a clue. Bernard, watch the space. It is coming. Now, we are not resolving the KAA issue alone. We are using KAA as a conduit to resolve all the issues that the Privatization Act is going to bulge on. Now, the fire in Embakasi, we had an opportunity because the member of parliament in Embakasi gave us details. Sifuna came and gave us even more details on how fire management is handled in our country. Bernard, I have no problem with clergy people, but why will a clergyman become a fireman? Because according to Sifuna, all the people in Nairobi wamesimamia the fire department are clergy people who had no clue, Bernard, of how to operate when there is an emergency. We live in a country that is very funny, Bernard. Down south, we have typhoons, we have whatever tsunamis, we have everything. Then on the side, it's snowing like crazy in New York, Buffalo. Then in California, you'll be finding that there's a lot of fire at the same time, but we are able to handle it. Like the California fires and the East Coast, I mean, the way those fires happen, Bernard, you have people who have expertise that there is no way there will be consumption of fires completely. We have contingency plans that are happening. But when it comes to Kenya, these knee-jerk reactions that we keep on having is not going to help us. Let us go back and reread what Sifuna told us in the Senate in regard to the attitude of this government in regard to emergency to fires. Let us not be surprised that this happened to the kids just because it's kids. Any life, be it an old person that had 3 days to live to die, should not be killed by fire, Bernard. Let them die their natural death. Okay? So it is an opportunity for Kenya not to speak like the Endarasha fire, to ask ourselves, all these fire departments that we have in 47 counties, Bernard, there's a classic example in Kisii. We have had 3 fires in Kisii County. The first one, we took the services from Obado. We had to wait for 3 hours from Migori to get the fire equipments to Kisii. The second one, we failed. It consumed the whole county because there was corruption going on and they really wanted to ban all the evidence, and therefore we did not solicit anything. So we left, it got banned. The third one is when Simbarati was running for what? For governorship, and you remember very well, we had solicit again from Nyamira, which took so many hours, and a lot of properties was banned. I'm just giving you a case scenario of how counties have big-time fire department budgets, but literally not even one human capacity person who is able to deal with that fire. So the Endarashi thing is not just unfortunate. It is how we have managed ourselves over the years. We do not question who is the fire person commissioner in a country, because where we live, every city has a fire commissioner. A fire commissioner, somebody who's trained, and we have drills throughout. Bernard, drills throughout, and probably wakina J mahali wako, sorry for taking longer, give me just 2 minutes. They have also drills when it comes to earthquakes and other things that affect them. Now, fires have become rampant in Kenya, Bernard. Obviously, you've seen it. Even after the fire in Embakasi, we've had several fires afterwards. Because this one affected young kids and it was in dormitories, now we give it preeminence. But still, what are we going to do, Bernard? Those are the kind of conversations that we must continue having without bulging again. Why? Because if we only wait until something like that happen and use it for political expediency, then it's like we are dancing in the graves of our children or our people to have a political lifeline again to fight Ruto. There are many ways we can fight Ruto without tragedies. Okay? So I'm sorry and I give condolences, but let us go down to the root and say, look, we have issues here about the fires in our country. But you never know tomorrow. It will be your estate. It will be your neighbor. It will be your son or your daughter. So I think we must not let that conversation die the way we let the conversation for Embakasi die. And if this one dies and tomorrow again we wait for another tragedy to have another conversation. It is sad for us to be doing that. It is wrong. It is immoral. The conversation should be, okay, they are done. Now what we must do is that we have to talk about it and make things straight. Thank you, Bernard, for that.
Exactly. Thank you, Alex. We must move from being a crisis to crisis operational country to living by design. When we went to school, everything was working in terms of even the fire department of the school. It was a system. It wasn't just putting something here, putting things here and waiting for something. The country cannot operate on the accidental response to issues. Just like education is supposed to be a system, dealing with issues that surround that education need to be a systematic way. That if there is a fire outbreak, this is how we deal with it. And that system is operational, is serviced, it is funded, and it works. But this business of there is fire in Nyeri, everybody now runs to Nyeri. Then we wait for another fire in Migori, then everybody goes to Migori. Then we hear there's another one in Mandera, then we run to Mandera. We can't be like that as a country. Can't we just settle down, do what we must do? What should we do to make education work? What must we do to make sure that all the children in boarding school are safe and secure? That every boarding school has adhered to the rules. If you don't have enough space, you don't have enough dormitories, you cannot take in more children than the capacity of your school. It is that simple. And Kenyans, kubalini kwamba ukiambiwa gari limejaa, wata kubribe headmaster uongeze mtoto wako kwa hiyo shule on the premise that the school is performing better. So a school that needs to carry 400 children, you have heaped there 850 children. All of it because mtoto yangu pia akue hapo, mtoto yangu pia akue hapo. Look at what we are doing. If we want that school to expand, let's sponsor it, let's support it, let's grow it, increase the capacity, then put the children there, then help the school also stand on its own. Wengi wa Kenya tunapenda tu kupeleka huko watoto na kusisitiza watoto wa perform, but we don't do like what I told you that my grandpa is the one who dug that road that joins our village to the other villages. And I mean, we need to have visionary parents who walk to the school and say, hii shule iko na shida gani? What can we do to help? Even if it's a private school, it is within that locality, is serving that locality. The road that goes to Andarasha, I'm told it is not a road. And all that. Why is that happening when we are the people and the Kenyans who are in that part of the world? So haya makosa yote si tu ya serikali peke yake, sio tu wahusika, hata sisi kama wazazi na wenye kijiji, we are contributors. Sisi ndio tutalima shamba tukimwaga takataka kwa hiyo barabara. Sisi ndio tutatoa uchafu kwa shamba tukiweka kwa hiyo barabara. In the process, we close the road, and then when there is an emergency, there is nowhere the vehicle can pass. Let's be responsible. Let's do what we must do to help our country move forward. Thank you very much. We'll hear from Reverend Lala and then Big J, and we close.
Asante Bernard. Bernard, I will say something about the fire because it falls in within my own training and experience. For Kenyans to know that every disaster in the last 20 years, I've been to nearly all of them. I've been to fires, I've been to the floods, plane crashes, 911. Whenever there is, I'm there because this nation has trained me at the highest level to manage some of those activities. And we are training that are ongoing all the time. Even now, I can go and keep on training and learning every single day. And this is what happened in 2015. There was a conference at Windsor Hotel in Kenya for the diaspora conference, and Uhuru and Ruto were there. And I remember Ruto came towards the end, and we were talking about security and fires and everything else. I raised the question, I took a microphone, and Ruto was on the stage. And I told him, this is what I do, but what I see is not right. Buildings were going up everywhere. And I told them, this is a nightmare for any fire because the training is there. We know what needs to be done. And to my surprise, the one who's leading the discussion came and took a microphone from my own hand. Okay, they didn't want to hear that, and later on I understood that was the time when Ruto's Hotel was in the limelight, and they thought I was attacking the vice president then, but I had no clue. All I was thinking was security, what it is we need to do. Fires, what happened, the fire that happened in Kenya, those fires are not accidents. They are neglect. I also remember coming to Kenya as Sumbi, girls had similar fire. Girls died, if you remember. I went to the site and I was told almost the same thing that are going on. Doors were locked, okay, from outside, okay, and the children or young girls died unable to get out. And you hear that story happening over and over and over again. The school that the kids died. What I read should not be allowed. Anytime children, there is something called a school, it is the government responsibility to make sure that those children are safe, guidelines are followed, there are spaces, alarm and drills done continuously. I myself, I stay in sometimes military bases, and we do drills almost every single week to make sure people are safe. Safety of our children is a priority of any government. And based on what we see, this government is incompetent. It has failed. The knowledge is there. It's not that we have to invent the wheel to create new understanding. The knowledge is there. It is there. And these leaders keep traveling all over to learn. You don't have to travel. You can Google, there are things that should be done. Those children were murdered from a professional perspective, should never have been let happen that way. And it is story after story after story after story. Okay. And I did, Kaiserian used to call me and we used to talk national security matters. And the concern was raised with him, and there's some really concern we have in the nation, and we are learning nothing. Nothing is sad. And finally, of course, the parents are responsible. But sometimes it's almost like you've traveled and the last bus has come, and either you take that bus or you sleep. The bus may be loaded, crowded, and you end up getting that bus, and you know you shouldn't get in there, but there's no alternative. Sometimes Kenyans don't have as many alternatives, so we do things because government has failed us to create those more, because people are stealing. They're busy stealing instead of watching and taking care of our children. And this is not just about education, it's about our health. It's about other institutions. The same thing. It's like they are there not to take care of us. And so the question of, finally, let me end with it. What you need in Kenya today is not the constitution. You need Ruto and you need money. Those are the things that will open the doors for you, not the constitution. So thank God for brave judges and out there. But unless we as Kenyans demand things to be done and done now, look at what Ruto is doing. Ruto is using a script, sometime from the past, thing that we let go, we didn't handle right. So he's using that to justify the wrong that he's doing. If you're asking me this question, I'm Ruto, okay, why did you ask Uhuru, why did you ask Kenyatta and others? So we have to put a break. And a break means all of us saying no to bad governance. I think that will really help us. Back to you, Bernard.
Okay, thank you very much. On that point of the only bus remaining, I have no problem. You can take that as an emergency, but we can't live on that. If you have a capacity of 500 children and you have now 600 children, there must be mitigation on how we will now accommodate this extra 100 children. Do we begin to build a new dormitory? How do we take measures so that this emergency doesn't become a culture? That's where I have a problem. We took in something because of an emergency, then we make it a norm. Okay, then we squeeze. We told the students that are supposed to be, let's say, 10 beds in the room, they just move. We squeeze here for tonight so that the following day we'll make another room elsewhere. Then for moving the bed in one place, you now make it another room, then make another bed, then another bed. Then it becomes normal. The room for 10 beds now becomes 20 beds, then it becomes low until there is a disaster. That is what I want Kenyans.
One point. The point is, I can justify high school boarding high schools being there, but primary schools, no. These children need to be with their parents. They need to be given family training. Children are growing up knowing who their parents are because we are hanging out in bars, we're doing other things, doing businesses. So those children should be around their homes, day school, let them see their parents. That's, to me, that's my stand. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Lala. Now, Big J, make your submission as we wind up.
Thank you. I think Reverend Lala, I want to just add something on what Reverend Lala is saying about day school. Reverend Lala, the boarding actually was created because of the environment in families. Local families, they don't have equipment, so even electricity for children to study. But I think the biggest problem is people are sleeping at work, the Ministry of Education, because they have to access. There is this who checks the schools, and because of corruption, that's why the the, the, the children are too many in one dorm. So I think the idea of boarding school actually is the best, because at times at home maneno ni magumu Ushago, sio kama town. Ushago, mimi I grew up in Ushago. Ikiwa naamka, by the way, shule nimesoma Reverend Lala, na ilikuwa naenda 24 kilometers kutembea, mguu hakukuwa na gari, naenda na ninarudi na saa 2 lazima niingie class. Baredi ni saa 2 naingia class. You know, it was something difficult at our time. And wakati boarding ilikuja ikaanza hasa watoto kutoka our area, in fact it was something so helpful, because they have enough time to look, to study, kufanya kusoma, you know, they have equipment. Anyway, another thing I just want to say is that we have a problem in devolution. I think it's a high time that all of us think about devolution, even though county governments ni wezi, but devolution is better, because we have seen wakati ilikuwa the resources of the country was in Nairobi. The president is the one who decides ni wapi atapea nini, because of the support he gets from that area. But devolution brought up something that actually, at least, of course there is corruption, but there is something, you can see there is something small happening. So I think we need to pray that we get some leaders like Onyonkas and the Moraras, you know, who will talk boldly so that we can, the devolution works. Na hii maneno ya kutumia sijui county commissioners ya Uhuru, because Uhuru is the one who started this story ya county commissioners. The county commissioners ndio inafanya, it's like the governor is competing with the county commissioner. So how then devolution? How is what is the work of a governor? You know, that's we need a court to rule on something like that, so that we'll have, actually ndio nilikuwa nasema we have a problem with our judiciary, because kitu kama hiyo wangekuwa wameamua who is who and who is will do what. So for me, my last point is that I am praying that we can get like-minded leaders, like-minded like Kinonyonga, watu devolution ifanye kazi, na hii maneno ya kutumia sijui county commissioners, alafu president anaenda lounge nini ati launching sijui nini, hiyo story tunataka iishi Kenya kabisa. So thank you, Bernard. I don't have much to say. Thank you for your.
Okay, thank you, Big J. You appreciate that. Lala, what is it?
Big J, I agree with you. The idea behind hizo primary schools zinasaidia wazazi, lakini policy ya government ingekuwa to improve the living condition ya watu wetu in the rural areas. There are practical ways. The policy should be able to guide us towards that direction. But it's like education is left in the hands of poor parents who don't have anything, and then education officers who don't know the policy. There's nothing they're following. Okay. And so our children are left to people who are interested in money, like, some of the schools, including both private and government, this public. It's about those extra fees that are coming in for all other purposes. So I think the policy should be towards putting families together. Okay, the family is the only institution that originates with God. That's the only one. And the church, for Christian theology, the church and the family. So when you take a baby and rape them off, take them to some kind of school, then you should be able to build a family life around the child. European, travel in Europe, Germany and others. Those villages, people live together. They have their schools, they have their hospital, they have their communities together, and then kids can be together. They can go to school and all that, and that should be the goal towards what we are working towards. But to only take a child, and some of them, when school are closed, they are in another district. They don't have bus fare to come home. They're traumatized. And sometimes some of us collect money to make sure they go to their home. So I think the policy should be towards doing that. Meanwhile, yes, this is where we need boarding schools. But a lot of them, for convenience, a good school somewhere, so everybody wants to go there. So there are other purposes there. But for the time being, of course, you may have to have them, but that should not be the end goal, the end game. Yeah.
So, thank you, Reverend Lala. I think this is holistic. It needs an overhaul. In my opinion, the education system in Kenya just needs an overhaul. We need somebody who can, set the education system. What we have is another crash arrangement that doesn't have a head or a tail. When we are talking like what they are calling affordable housing, you cannot be building residential houses without factoring where the school will be, where the shopping center will be, where the market will be. You see the way we create accidents. Somebody is just obsessed with building residential houses. He's not telling us where the school is, because residential housing is supposed to be in relation to where people are going to shop, where people are going to go to school, where people are going to go to hospital, so that it is a whole ecosystem. But Kenya, we just have money, we want to spend it. We have money, we want to spend it. How that money is spent systematically, nationwide, it cannot be traced. And it's all aiding corruption and creating confusion. So for me, we need a serious overhaul of this country, whereby every system should be said to function on its own. Education, healthcare, food production, all that. And like what we have is just bandaging. We inherited this from colonial masters. We want to change the name from colonial to anti-colonial. It's just a matter of patching, patching, patching. Nobody is seriously giving a thought into what do we establish that our children can rely on, so that they can be able to come through this system as a better people. So if you have community schools, and those community schools are within the vicinity of the residents of that particular place, and the school is 10 minutes away, why should the child should be going to a boarding school? And then school time is well regulated. The teachers are serious. The child doesn't have to carry all the homework home. They can do homework from school and just, go home to do chores and do housework things. So kwangu mimi ni Wakenya tu wamekataa kunini, serikali imekataa kuwajibika. Wakenya wenyewe tumekubali kubebwa ujinga, and that's why we are being misused and mishandled. But
Bernard, in those areas where they do that, you find there's a public library, there is a conference room where kids can be there. In other words, children don't have to struggle carrying big bags, or I can't miss. Electricity is there, everything is there, water is there. Don't have to go looking for water. So there's a thing that can be done. They're not that costly. It's just a visionary person and new policy directions that can lead us in that direction, but we are not interested.
Exactly. And that's one thing that county government can take. Okay. As we are our county, a county is a small, let's say Kakamega County. We say we're going to restructure our schools in this county, whereby we'll have a school from this residence. All the children from this section will go to school here. The children from this section will go to school here and will go to school here, so that that county is functional. The reason why there is county commissioner, there is governor, it's all overlap of responsibilities. Why? The central government doesn't trust the governor to take care of the security of the county. Why? He's an elected member, like you are elected. Why can't you trust him with the responsibility of security? Each county should provide its own security, and only the national government be coming in as a reinforcement. But because of our obsession with our insecurity and backward thinking, we can't let that county function on its own. We want it to keep breastfeeding so that it depends on us and we feel president because somebody is depending on us. It's all madness. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we must call it a day. Thank you so much for making the program a success. We appreciate for engagement. Thank you, Reverend Lala. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Mama Selina. Thank you, everybody on the comment section. We appreciate you. Please, let's keep the conversation going and let it be known. Our airport is not going anywhere. Whatever William Ruto wants to sell, he can sell his chicken. He can sell his children if he wants to. He can sell his house if he wants to. But all the properties that belong to Kenyans belongs to Kenyans, and they cannot be sold without the consent of Kenyans. Let's rise up. Let's say no to the sale of our national assets. And then, of course, let's fight for a better Kenya. God bless you. Let's meet in the next show.
Adani JKIA deal. I think the last
Tunaingia vijijini, mijini na hata jijini kukuletea taarifa mchana kutwa. Usiku tunakaa kitako, tunadadavua tukichanganua taarifa na makala muhimu yanayokuhusu wewe na familia yako.
Nasikia watu wanasema